You're watching the 420 Pace Reroll Saturday.
You're watching the 420 Pace, found at 420pace.ca. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this toke.
You're watching the 420 Pace Reroll Saturday.
You're listening to
expressed by the are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I woke up this morning with a crack in my head.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net, as well as 420pace.ca and our social media locations. Good evening, Tamara. How are you?
I'm tired. I mean, I've got an election hangover. Other than that, the same old Wednesday where I'm exhausted because I opened the store. I'm just, it's been a day.
Yeah.
And like I said, a bit of an election hangover still because we had, we had a counting party or, end of the election kind of appreciation on Monday after the election. So I haven't caught up with that.
Not yet, eh? You'll get some sleep.
Well, I was running 2 jobs. Like I worked 12 days straight at the store. Plus I was running the office downtown too on those days. So yeah, I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, you will be. And then now you're gonna go through a bit of a lull because you're so used to go, and now you'll be you'll have some time now. A little bit of time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, no, because I'm still doing the substitution program too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, and I got a bunch of more dummy donations from Dirty Dirt. So they're pretty happy with those and been handing them out. So yeah, like I said, I just keep I never stop. So
yeah. So tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be remembering our friend,
Mark.
A personal friend as well as a friend of the cannabis community in Marco Renda. Over the last 2 weeks, since Marco has passed away, I've talked about it during the show, on and off, pretty well. A few of the different broadcasts that I'm involved in, and then
he was a pretty private person to begin with. Like he wasn't one to go on Facebook and share everything he was doing every single day. He was pretty private to begin with. So when he got sick, not very many people knew.
Yeah, like there was some stuff here and there, but in the end, I know that when I went to go see him, that he asked me to post updates, and I said,
well,
sure.
Being that sick is a pretty your health it's a pretty private experience, and until you're ready, I guess, to get to the point where you've kind of come to terms with whatever's going on with you yourself, right?
You're correct. So for those who don't know, Marco, he passed away on the evening of Good Friday from liver cancer, and something
he fought a good fight.
What's that?
He fought a good fight because he was diagnosed quite a few years ago, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah. It wasn't something that for some people, like in my own experience with my father, it was like 6 months, 5 months, and he was gone. Marco fought it, and in the end, the cancer won out. So I thought tonight what we would do is, since I posted the announcement and that got shared around Facebook and other social media locations, and people started to post things themselves, memories of working with Marco, dealing with Marco, letting us know how he helped them, whether it was from giving them a spot to write just like, we try to give people a spot here on the Pace Radio Network, a spot to give them their voice. Marco gave everybody, people a spot to write. It was good at him, obviously, to do that. I was one of those people who had that opportunity, was to write for Marco, and that was, I wasn't a person that had a big grade 12 or university education. I was just a person who just barely even had a grade 10 English, but writing about what you're doing seems so much easier because you're writing from your heart, you're writing from your experience, right? So and I know that I'm not the only person that Marco helped that way um, uh, with writing. We have a guest tonight that is actually in the studio, in the lounge right now. He can hear me talking, but we can't hear him, just so he knows that. So throughout the night, there could be up to 5 or 6 people who stop in during the night, say a few words, talk about Marco, share their experiences. I've told people that they can stay for the night if they want to, get involved in other parts of the conversation while we're sharing the magazine or the videos from the expo. So,
Yeah. Those are probably let's put it this way. The first time I had traveled in my adult life, after, since when I got into the Canadas, was to Ottawa. My first big trip was to Toronto. I'd never been to Toronto before for TY. I'd never been to an expo like that before, ever. It was just it was fabulous. I never been into a dispensary. I never had seen a vapor lounge. I was living in bumfuck Alberta, right?
right. Exactly. All right. Well, we'll share some of our stories, personal stories, throughout the night. And why don't we bring in our first guest into the program to share some stories? We'd like to welcome Jerry Norrie to the Pace Radio Show and our special occasion here for remembering Marco. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank
Jerry.
you.
Hi there. How you doing?
Really appreciate it. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Doing good. We've never met before. You were one of the people that I saw posted a comment on Facebook in regards to Marco and how he gave you a hand. Just so you know, yours and other comments I did share with the family. I'm not aware whether they're even on Facebook, so I thought that would be an opportunity to do so. So thank you for your comment.
Well, that's really nice. Marco was a big part of my life. He gave me my first opportunity as a writer. And from there, we had a great friendship. I flew out to Amsterdam to the Cannabis Cup, and that's the first time I ever met him.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought me right along with him on all the little journeys. And I was part of the team right away. And he was such a gracious person. He would always kind of think to include me in different things and introduce me to important people that he knew I thought were cool. And it was a real pleasure. And the opportunities as far as a writer, he would let me do anything I wanted. So
Yeah.
I could write about anything. He would send me to places to cover for the magazine. It was a great opportunity.
When I was writing with TY, there was only one time he made a suggestion to me on an article, and I ran with it. And other than that, just like yourself, go ahead and you had the freedom to write and to do what you do. So, what was your articles normally about, Jeremy?
So I covered California. Marco was not allowed to come to California, from what he was telling me. And so there would be certain people, like I went out to Steep Hill Laboratories and I interviewed Addison when they were just getting started, and that was for Marco. I would do all kinds of random things for him too. So he sent me to Champ's trade show where I would host the Treating Yourself booth and represent the magazine. I worked with Kelly at the THC Expo. the Todd McCormick's thing, and
Oh,
we did the Treating Yourself booth at that event. And I was always doing stuff for Marco in that sense. And then when it was me, I was into the medical side. So if I had a great medical story that I could tell or something like that, I would. Or I went to maybe a good event or something, I'd maybe tell that story. And I was tied into dabbing. So before it was even called dabbing, we were very early on in that. I represented the first swing arm.
Oh,
that-
the swing, yes,
Yes,
the
yes.
dab swing. It was actually on the front cover for winning.
Right, I wrote that article.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yeah, that was me, and we represented the product at the Cannabis Cup, and we won first place there with the Treating Yourself booth, and
Nice.
it was a great time. All those kind of things were possible because Marco gave me opportunities.
Yeah. So I was doing the booths down in the U.S., like down in that end. Was it something that he did very often, or was it just an occasional thing?
Oh no, like a couple times a year type of thing.
Yeah.
It was not a big job or a
Sure.
big ask to do, and you were just giving the magazines away for free, basically. So
Yeah.
and people like that. So it was a good time.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean by giving those magazines away for free. And, it would be a surprise to many people. Like the shows that we were going into were non-cannabis shows. There were women's shows, health shows, home shows. Like you wouldn't expect to see a cannabis booth at a home show, right? So it opened a lot of people. We reached out to, basically non-cannabis events. And we had one guy come up in a wheelchair, and he asked us what we were doing, and we told him. And he says, "Well, I'm in a wheelchair because I just had surgery and had a stent put into my heart or your veins or whatever." And we said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, so I can't touch that stuff." And we said, "Well, right here, this issue right now has got a story on heart stents and cannabis." So he took it, happy as could be in order to be able to read something, because it was something that, he had a question about, basically. So.
Oh yeah, and the internet was kind of a thing back then, but they had shut down Overgrow, and it wasn't the thing like that it is now, where people can get a lot of this information. So those magazines were gold to a lot of people.
They sure were. They sure were. Now, as far as you're writing about the different things, that events and stuff that you were doing. Did you do anything other writing?
I did some cannabis reviews, and I did some other stories about freedom fighters that were local. I might have done, I tried to have at least one article in every issue. And there was a couple issues where I had more than one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I ended up with about 115.
Wow.
And 35 issues.
So, it's incredible.
Yeah. I see we got, I believe that we may have Jeff Tech waiting in the wings here. I see this on a comment. Jeff, if you want to join at any time, go ahead and join in. And Jeremy, you can continue along here with us.
Sure.
Yeah, and we'll add you into the broadcast here, Jeff, when I see you in the lobby. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Marco also did the Treating Yourself Expo.
Correct.
I went up to Canada for my first time to that event, and that was my first time in Toronto. And I remember smoking cannabis down there on the street. People were blown away. They're like, "Is cannabis legal in Canada?"
And not yet.
Free event, yeah.
No, it wasn't that. So that was what year was that at?
Oh, I don't remember the
2014,
year.
maybe.
That's probably close. It was the first one.
2010.
2010.
2010
Okay.
was 2010 was the first one.
Okay.
Did you go out in the back balcony?
Was that I remember there was a volcano vapor lounge.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that was in the that was down that was in the seminar area where there was a bunch of different halls or
I might
rooms and
not have
stuff.
been
And there
cool
was
enough
12.
to go in
I think
that.
the first year they had it kind of in the back corner, and they had like sheets around, kind of like these barricades, and there had a guy stand there. You had to show him your pink papers to get in.
Well, we had the vapor lounge. The first year was downstairs in one of
Downstairs
the
is what I
seminar
remember.
rooms, and
Yeah.
there was 12 volcanoes that
Okay,
were
that
there.
was the one I was. Then I must have been the year after I was there, because that's when we had the
Yes,
sublimator there,
the
and
year
it was
after
upstairs.
it came upstairs
Yeah.
the following year. It was the world's largest vapor lounge at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that's right.
4,600 square feet, I believe. And the thing was, it was inside, as we know, the Metro Toronto Convention Center, which was a federally owned building. And there we were with a vapor lounge where people could consume cannabis.
Oh yeah, they were
indoors.
saying the G8 summit was there like right before us.
Yes, it was. It was. And then
Wasn't there another big convention on the other side, and they were complaining?
I don't remember. That
Wasn't
could
one year
be.
there was another one or something? But maybe it was because it had the big, Hummer out front
there
with
was
all the nutrients. What nutrient was
there was
that?
Advanced Nutrients had
Advanced
Advanced
Nutrients had that
Nutrients.
Hummer out front, and they were just standing around out front smoking. And somebody I think somebody
Oh yeah.
complained.
Well, see, that was the thing. We were forced to go out because we couldn't smoke inside. So anybody wanted to smoke joints, they had to go out front at the time. And that's what we did, right? But inside the vapor lounge in that second year, not only was there volcanoes, but there was also other vaporizers, like the Verdamper was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Verdamper.
That was
yeah.
great. Oh my god, I got a loose dog outside.
Kelly, Kristen was there with the herbal vaporizer.
Sure.
Yeah. What else was in there? There was others in there as well. I just can't think what all they were. But people just came and went. They had, we had a sign up front that, it was such place, and you couldn't smoke joints inside. There was even actually there was at the beginning. There was a bit of there was people that were doing dabs at the tables, and the the convention center didn't like
the torches.
The torches.
Yep, I can only imagine.
Yeah. So that was.
Yeah, didn't we have glass blowing the one year too?
Correct. That was as things went on. We got the glass blowing going.
Yeah, I think that was year 3, and they had like Team Japan.
Yes.
I didn't make it to that, but I heard about it, and it sounded incredible.
It was a contest. They had Japan. They had the U.S. They had Canada. And I'm thinking one was maybe just a team from Europe. I'm not 100% sure.
Wow.
And they went all weekend building everything right from scratch, right there on the site. And lots of people sat around and watched them do it. I know that as a writer for it, getting right in there, that opportunity to get in there and zoom in on things, because doing photography at the same time for my articles, right? It was quite the opportunity and good time to do that. So.
A lot of my friends are glass blowers, so I've been at some of those flame off events, and what they do is incredible.
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah. Oh, it's art. It's glass art. There's no other way to describe it. The stuff that was done. Let me just see if I can. I know I've got some pictures of some of the stuff on my Facebook wall. I have an album from the 2013 TYXO, and I'm just bringing it up. I don't try to, because I'm not wired direct here, so I try to stay off of Facebook as much as possible because it's a resource hog.
Sure. Probably a good thing.
Yeah. And I got pictures there, lots of pictures from the expo that I can share if I can find my photos as I run
I
through
still
everything.
have a collection of my magazines, so I must have a stack of
Do you
30.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I've got one right here.
I had the whole collection in my basement flooded and I lost them all.
Yeah, this is issue 1.
I know, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
I think
I
I
got
started
Jeff.
somewhere around 3 or so.
Yeah, Jeff's having some problems to log in. So I'll have to figure out I don't know what's going on, other than I can let him know that, or anybody who's having a problem who may have received the link, you should be able to just click on that link, and if you're on like Chrome, you should be able to open that right up. It'll ask you for access to, your mic and camera and stuff like that, so it can, show you. And then I will bring you into the studio at that point. If you are trying to use an Apple product and you run Safari, and you may even have to do it even if you're running Chrome on an Apple product. Yeah, I see you watching. He's watching on YouTube.
Yeah, see that. Maybe he's not seen. Where did you send the link to?
I sent it to his email.
That might be
sorry, not his email. It's Facebook.
Maybe he did. Maybe he hasn't checked his Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger. It's in his Facebook Messenger.
Maybe get him to private message you his phone number and you can text it to him. Maybe he's gonna use the phone.
We got John Fellow. He's
hey,
arrived.
Johnny.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, he's gone quiet.
Guys, I think I just lost volume.
There we go. Okay, we can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you. Oh.
Okay, I got my car and I lost volume.
You lost volume? He's in his car. Can you turn your volume up on your phone?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah. Can you hear us now? Okay, good stuff. Can you hear us now? Okay, good stuff.
I can totally hear you now.
Great.
All right.
All
right. Oh, I think I can hear myself.
Can you hear yourself now?
I can.
Is it going through your phone? Your phone's going through your car.
Is your phone into your into your speakers of your car?
Yeah, I'm in my car.
Yeah, if we're coming over the speakers of your car. Yeah, we'd be picking it up.
How about that now? Are you on my phone now?
Let's try it and find out. I can still hear myself. But I can hear you perfectly fine. It's just getting used to the repeat here. That's all.
I thought it worked better for my car, to be honest.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought
Well,
go sit in the car. Everything was so good. That was okay. I said, I'll go sit in my car and it'll be better.
Well, it's working great out here. Other than it looks like you're frozen. There you go. Stay. Say if you're near your place, if you're near your Wi-Fi, stay near your Wi-Fi. If not, I don't know. We'll just try the best as we could, as long as you're not frozen. So, welcome to the broadcast, Johnny. Jeremy was sharing some stories with us, and I'm sure he's got more stories. So I just see somebody else that's just joined us. Allison, I see Allison is here, but it says she's not connected. She has to connect her microphone and her camera to the show. So Allison, you'll have to go back out, or if you can, accept it from there, because it's telling me you didn't accept it on the way in.
I'll be right back. I gotta go.
Yeah, okay. We're just used to setting everybody up before the show, getting everything going. But today I wanted to people just drop in, right? Oh, there we go. We got Gary working on Allison. Hi Gary, how you doing?
I guess- I thought you'd see me tonight.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. We're just Allison. John's just got in here himself. We just got a bit of a sound issue fixed for him. And Jeff Tech is trying to join in on the conversation. But unfortunately, he's having a problem, whether it's the link that I sent him. I'm just gonna see if I can. No, I can't grab from there. What I'm going to do, Jeff, if you can still hear me, if you're still there, on Facebook, I am going to send you the link in as a message, and then that way you can maybe join in from there.
Under your, you got it on an angle.
I know.
Right. Okay. There you go. Done. Okay, Jeff, try to click on that. But other than that, let's move along here. And John, I know that you posted a very nice comment, stories about Marco. You got something that you would like to share with us tonight, as well as those who are watching.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, Marco was a big part of my recovery too. Like talking on stage with Marco, with Paul Hornby, and being a part of the TY, winning the cups, and just that it's been an amazing journey for patients. And Marco really showed that and was able to express that and gave us that right to be able to communicate where we weren't able to communicate, like where we are today, right? So it was a big part of even seeing him in Mexico. I went and saw him in Mexico, and I bought a lot of glass off of him, and he was a friend. He came by the house quite a bit when he used to come in the van to Abbotsford. He'd come by and see me here and stuff like that. So I talked to him just a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't really think he was going to pass away, so it was kind of a shock. So
yes, yeah. No, I was in to see him every few weeks there, up till the end, and yeah, it's surreal. Having watching him go through this, right? So
yeah. We get to celebrate it, right? We get the blessing that we got to be a part of his life, and that's the best part about it, right? So we don't celebrate the end, we celebrate the life that he had, and that's the most important part, is really enjoying how he expressed and showed that vision, and we were being part of that vision with him. And just look at those times we had. We all met because of Marco, right?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, come on, look at how many people he put together, and he started things that no one else did, and we can just recognize what he'd done, not just for himself, but what he did for patients and people around the world, because he made such an impact. You go to Barcelona, there's cards in there, right? In the marijuana museum, like these little things that you get to see of really expressing the true thing is he had a vision. And that's the most important part, is to all have that vision and keep that vision in front of you and right to the end. And one thing about life, you ain't getting out alive.
No, we're not. Exactly.
And there's a life before life, and then we birth into a life, what we call even like a video game, and we see how life is, and then at the end of that, death is another part of life.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So true.
And that's it's us moving to that next life that it's enjoying that life that we have, and expressing and enjoying every moment of that, right? Because we got to live for now and towards our future. The past doesn't do any good to us unless you live in it, right? And if you want to live in a past, we can express the past and look at how far we've come together because of the community we built.
We've got another guest that's joined us here in the lobby, and I'm going to bring them into the broadcast. And we like to welcome Jeff Tech to the program tonight. Welcome, Jeff. How are you doing?
Jeff.
Hey, Al. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Allison.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jeff.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, dear. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, thank
We've never actually met in person before, so it's good. It's good to meet you in person here on the broadcast.
I brought Michelle with me.
All right.
Oh, I
Yes.
love it. Love it.
So do I. I got her. I brought her too. She's here with us all as well here.
Yay.
Brother Chris,
Beautiful.
But Jeff, like I said to John and Jeremy, I saw your post, and obviously you had a lot to do with Marco and dealt with him, and with Michelle being involved with the magazine. I'm sure you got a story or two.
oh yeah, I got quite high up on the masthead at TY, and I was actually listed as editor for a while. And at the same time, I had been writing for Heads, World, Rich in the UK, and I felt like we were all, in the same battle together. And then I became
Definitely.
Canadian correspondent. I guess Marco ruffled a few feathers over there. I found out that they were kind of competitive in their New York environment, and they wanted me to change my name. Well, I wasn't about to have any of that. So
Good for you, doll.
Yeah.
I got to tell you this. I've got the last uncashed check here from Michael.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
I just even cashed the check. Here,
Wow.
here I have a notification from the U.S. District Court releasing Michelle
Yes.
probation posthumously.
That is history,
Nice.
my friend.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is beautiful.
And right
Yes.
here, I have an art original.
Love it.
Hey, looks
Love it.
familiar.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just proud to say I'm still friends with everybody that I've ever been friends with,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
including this guy. You might remember this guy. That's because of Michelle.
Yes.
And
Yes.
We got the Ackroyd Meister here.
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful.
The wall of Ackroyd accolades, I call him. He does.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
So yeah, that's all a legacy because of Michelle. Like, she created that
Yeah.
back when
Yeah.
back when she was.
And as Tamara can tell you, we talk about Michelle here on the program. There you go.
All
Yeah.
the time. All the time. Yeah,
Beautiful.
all the time. Well, she was like I said, sending me out packages to drop off at doctor's offices back in 2006, 2007, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just been, and her legacy with moving on, like Al too, like with everything you've done with TY and everything was because of Michelle too. Like we all got our starts because of, certain people and now look where we are 20 years later, 20 some odd years later, right? Here we all are together, right? So
Al, I have a funny story about
Yeah.
Michelle, actually. When my mom and I, years ago, over 20 years ago, were looking to go to medical cannabis conference here in Canada. It was the first one in Canada, and Dr. Ethan Russo had invited me to come with my mother. And I wrote Mark Emery. I phoned or wrote Mark, and I asked him for some money. And Michelle responded, and she was such a sweetheart, Jeff. I got an envelope in the mail within a couple of days with 10 $100 bills all in it and red lipstick all over my envelope. Red lipstick marks. And I'm so upset. I don't know what I did with that envelope, but I will never forget that Michelle did that when she sent me the money to go to the conference.
That's her.
That's a
Great.
great story for me.
I
Yeah.
think I still have her original business card just over here.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm pretty sure I do. I might even look at when we go to break.
Beautiful.
Oh, break! I didn't even thought about that.
We don't need to break, do we? We don't.
No, we don't. Yeah. We'll just keep
We don't
right
need
on
to break.
going.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Jeff is showing us something there. I'm going to bring him
Oh,
into
yeah.
enlarge the screen here from
Look at
yeah,
that. Wow.
artwork. Yeah.
Right on.
Now,
was-
Jeff, did you come to the
Beautiful.
did you come to the expo in Toronto?
No, I've never been there. This picture here was painted by an astrophysicist at Idea City in 2007.
No
Wow.
kidding.
Stage. Right here, you can clearly see a chicken with its head cut off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. I love it.
Call this one Michelle's Spirit,
Oh, I love it.
and I call this one over here Michelle's Soul.
Oh,
Oh,
gorgeous.
nice.
Look at that. Gorgeous.
See, 2007.
Wow.
2007.
Beautiful.
I can't remember her name.
Mm.
Beautiful. Absolutely. What a treasure, Jeff. What a treasure.
I wrote a few words for Marco.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, Jeff. Uh-oh.
But I lost you.
Yeah. Well, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, here I am. I'm back.
Your screen has gone dark.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you are. Okay, you're back. Okay,
Hey.
yeah, you said you wrote some words on behalf of Marco.
I did. I'm gonna have to bring them up real quick here on
Yeah.
my computer because I guess I can't do both. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to transfer it. Give me a minute, you guys. Talk.
Okay, not a problem. John, I can go to Johnny or actually Allison. You got a story you mentioned earlier. That you've got a story about Marco, and we'll go to you, and we'll bring Jeff back in when we're done.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I go way back to 2004 with Marco Renda when I first met him, when we actually started the Hitzig versus Canada lawsuit. And Marco there were 7 patients, and Warren Hitzig, a Compassion Club owner, who had hooked up with Alan Young. Originally, I had gotten Alan Young's attention, and I asked him if he would help us do a lawsuit in Canada for patients for a source of our medicine. And he said to me, Alan said originally cannabis wasn't medicine, so we taught him. But then after that, as I said, Marco joined the lawsuit because, again, he was a little bit financially better off than the rest of us who were in the lawsuit who were on disability. And Marco could help pay for what was covered in the lawsuit with Warren. So Marco came into the lawsuit with us at Hitzig versus Canada, and we ended up winning and changing the entire cannabis program in Canada because of it in 2004.
Wow.
So I'm really
Yes.
excited about that. Yeah, really
The-
excited.
Yeah. That's one of the important steps that patients have had to do all the way along in order to fight access.
Well, Marco came out and told people specifically that he was battling hepatitis C. And what we had tried to do with the lawsuit was, when I had approached Alan originally said it was just going to be me and him. And I said, no, there were more illnesses in Canada than just MS that cannabis helped. And MS and AIDS at the time and epilepsy were the only 3 that were really being seriously looked at. So I decided that we'd break it open and bring in patients who had mental health issues, multiple sclerosis like me, where Debbie Stahl-Skiffen came in. I invited her into the lawsuit. And then Warren Hitzig, as I said, paid for everything for us so that he covered the bill for all of the patients involved. But there were a number of us: Mary Lynn Chamney, Catherine DeVries, Marco Renda, myself, Stephen Vandekamp, Debbie Stahl-Skiffen, and again, Warren Hitzig. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but It was a wonderful time, I'll tell you. And Marco was again a big fighter at the time and wanted to be heard and wanted cannabis recognized as medicine in Canada. So I was really thankful that he came into the lawsuit with us to make some more noise.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So, all right, I see. Jeff, did you find your words?
I found my words.
All right, and then I'm gonna go to Johnny after you, Jeff.
Right on. So
Uh,
wrote a few words down for a podcast tribute to Marco Renda.
beautiful.
Yep.
Since my wife Michelle Rainey passed 15 years ago, she has remained a guiding light in my life, a fierce inspiration whose influence didn't end with her physical presence. She continues to move people just as Marco did.
Yes.
When a loved one dies, their family and friends hold them close through stories, podcasts, memories, and rituals. But when a public figure passes, someone who touched countless lives like, I don't know, Frank Sinatra, Elvis, or the Pope, something bigger happens. They don't just pass, they become a legend, a legacy, a force that transcends time. So with Marco's transformation, I no longer mourn a fallen friend. I celebrate a hero who lives on in our collective hearts. No more suffering, no more procedures, no more death. Only warmth and peace and light. To all the dreamers who dared to love and lose, this world is stronger because of you. Your dreams, your courage, your being. They echo beyond time. Marco, thank you for being my friend. Your legacy will live on forever.
That was beautiful, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you
That
very
was
much
wonderful.
for your words.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, very true.
Really
Very true.
appreciate you being here with us because the voices that have known for so long and how hard we've all, worked and how we all struggle with our own, we're all patients, right?
Yeah.
So, for us to all be able to still come together all these years later is just,
Yeah.
that's, cannabis brought us all together, right? For a
So
reason.
true.
And this is the reason.
This is
So
the
we can
reason.
continue on keeping these legacies moving forward and
I like
sharing the stories and making them legacies, right?
that. Like
You
the
know, sorry, just to interrupt. I was going to say, I heard everybody talking about the TY Expo earlier, and I wanted to say that that's where I met a lot of you people.
That's what I
So
wanted
Yeah.
to bring up. Yeah.
appreciate that, being involved in that and Marco inviting Leap into it. But Marco invited Leap into the TY Expo
My phone's
when
gonna die.
we were cutting edge. We were literally, people didn't know what to think of Leap, and we were pushing our message far and wide as far as I was concerned. And Marco picked us up, and I will never forget that he gave us a booth there and gave us time and gave us a place at the expo.
Yeah, he had like an activists or advocates row
Yes,
where people could go in
yes,
there. He gave boosts to different organizations and groups in order to help them, reach other people. Yeah.
yes.
John,
Well, I was gonna say, it's 42 minutes into the show, and Marco would make that it's like my favorite number, and it's what brought everything together was the 420s and really meeting Marco and him standing up for patients' rights. I first met Marco when I came to TY in 2010, and it was a very amazing event. It was more small in 2010. And be able to kind of like link with the patients, and then Marco says, you got to enter into the cup in 2011. And I was a patient fighting for patients' rights, like Marco was, and everybody else is here fighting for patients' rights. And I entered that cup, and I won first place. I never
Wow!
expected that.
Congratulations!
And winning first place as a medical patient for the TY Medical Cup, for the TY magazine, and everything that there was so profoundly a big inspiration, because I was fighting for patients' rights, WCB, which we still fight for today. Even when I go and see my doctors, I still talk about these times when we actually stood up for that. And Marco gave us that voice. No, I didn't win first place. I went to the second year and I won second place. So people said it was like a fluke. I said I didn't fluke nothing. It was the medical patients and there was the strains and
Yes.
Marco gave us that spot. And not only did he just give us that spot, he did it for glass blowers, he did it for the community, and he just kept giving back.
Yes.
And not once. And you know, I was in his magazine for TY issue 21 on why amino acids work. That was with Bree Stegman and Dr. Manju Sharma and Dr. Paul Hornby, like really coming into that. And then issue 32, you know, standardized medical grows, about looking at how we can standardize our grows for medical patients and understanding that. And Marco was always there supporting it. He was publishing all of that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
kept going on. And then seeing
I-
him in Mexico, you know, having those times with him in Mexico, you guys got to spend some time with him in Mexico, go to his place, and it was just an amazing journey to spend with him and watching him transition from going to his house on the lake. Like, wow, I got to spend a journey with Marco, and we were blessed to have that journey alongside. And you know, when I found out he passed, I got a good tear for him, and I woke up and it hit me, and then I realized, you know, like I got to be on the journey with him.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You
We
know,
all did.
We all did.
You betcha.
It was, you know, it was
And we
something that none of us really thought would happen. Like people weren't even thinking that cannabis legalization.
Be here.
Look at the people he brought together in 2011 from around the world, from Amsterdam, from everywhere. He brought a community that created a community, and we get to live that community. And he left a legacy, like Jeff said.
Exactly.
When a man leaves a legacy, we never die, and that's what we've all done here. Everybody here on this panel, everybody here has left a legacy for others to actually look up to, and how we've been able to actually, you know, express exactly what we truly believe in.
Yeah.
The cannabis gives us our 6 humanities. It gives us certainty that we're going to get our pain done. So it's going to help us. A little bit of uncertainty, variety with all the strains and all the varieties. Significance. It's helping us, right?
Yeah.
Love and connection. Look what it's done here. It's given us love and connection.
Yeah.
And it also gives us growth. That we continue growing our plants. And then when we grow, what do? We contribute. So when we meet all of our 6 human needs, we never want to leave it, do we?
No,
we fight more for cannabis than we do for world peace. And that's what Marco did. He fought for cannabis. That was his world peace, and he did it around the world.
I read a bunch of his editorials this morning while I was setting things up. And that's what it was, constantly fighting for patients, whether it was for access to, you know, the cannabis itself, or access to seeds. The patients were losing seeds because we had no place to get them other than Health Canada, and they wanted all these other ones from, you know, we were seeing from Europe. Yeah,
here you are doing the same thing. You know, you spread love with pace. Everybody here is spreading that joy and love, and it's
we've got a comment here from Buddy Weeds, and he says that he attended the 2010 Treating Yourself. He says it changed his life, and he's forever grateful. Rest in peace, Marco. Yeah.
How many here's lives were changed by Marco? Raise your hand.
Oh.
Yeah, raising your hand. And if you're listening to us, you're raising your hand right now.
Yeah.
Raise that hand. Think of that moment.
Exactly.
Let's all think of that moment together, and let's embrace that moment. And let's give him that love that he deserved, because look at that moment he gave everybody here. So let's give him that moment. Say, you know what? Blessings, Marco. He's here with us right now. He's like, fuck yeah, smoking a big
Yeah, exactly.
He is here with us right now. We transcend time once we remember.
I agree.
Yeah. Great.
Jeremy, would you like to jump in? You've been quiet there for a little bit.
I was thinking about Marco. He certainly was opinionated, and we didn't always agree, but he would definitely tell you what he thought about things, and he would stand up for the things that he believed in pretty strongly, and that's a really admirable quality. He had me interview the Cottonmouth Kings, and he had me interview some other like celebrities. When I came out to the Treating Yourself Expo, I forget the guy's name, but he was a great cannabis musician, and I got to hang
Brad? Was his name Brad?
What
The
was his?
Killing Time band.
No, it wasn't
No?
that. He had
Okay.
kind of like changed like popular songs into cannabis songs.
Oh, Chief Greenbud did that.
That's
He
who it
take-
was.
Was
That's who
it?
was.
Okay, yeah. He take a lot of country songs.
Yeah.
Lila or something, and others. Delilah is one of the ones that he did.
Yeah, exactly. He had
Yeah.
changed a bunch of really great songs into these cannabis songs, and the cannabis songs were great too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that Marco supported so many different people's passions and
You
tried
bet.
to incorporate them and give them a platform to get exposure.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I
yeah.
also knew Ivan Art, who did all the cool caricatures, and Ivan is such a great guy too.
Yes. Yeah. He's got series of his why not posters. You could get
Nice.
you could get 7 posters in a tube. And you know, if I took 30 seconds or maybe 2 minutes, I could go grab a set of posters because I got them right in the other room beside me.
Yeah, he's a really talented artist and a really wonderful
Yeah,
guy.
Jeff's got Michelle's picture that Ivan drew. You can see it there in his window.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
See, beautiful.
That's so
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Yeah, it was funny because like I was out in like Lethbridge, Alberta, right? Trying to do stuff and did the global marijuana marches out in Alberta, and Marco was like, "You're crazy. You're in bumfuck Alberta. Like, what are you trying to do? But here, I'll send you this and we'll send you that. Make sure that you're getting the best shot." And I got all the TY magazines so I could take them into we had a couple bong stores and stuff in Lethbridge, and we drove to Medicine Hat and picked up Neil Magnuson. So we took some, Grassroots wasn't out yet, but TY. And then when Grassroots started coming out, we would take those out too. Like, but we were just like, he thought that it was like kind of crazy what we were trying to do and accomplish in Alberta, right? But now you look at Alberta, and Alberta's got more, cannabis stores than anywhere else. It's kind of weird, right?
That's true.
Yeah, the this front cover, it has Michelle's picture on it. It's not a caricature picture, obviously. It's the
No, it's a
actual
real picture.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. It's also the first time that I got to write for Treating Yourself.
Right.
Because of that, Marco put my name on the front cover.
Oh, congratulations, Al. Good stuff.
And yeah, and
Oh, that's a keeper.
the one of the things that Treating Yourself did and Marco did, not only did he do the magazine and stuff, but he also held the Treating Yourself awareness forum. I can't recall what hall it was at. And Michelle spoke as well as others. And because of that forum, that was something that got me to lead to speaking up and talking about, my illness and going to different events. So,
Well, I remember when I first got back from Ottawa, the first stop I did after I got off the plane in Calgary was to the Bongs and Such to buy my first medicinal shirt and my first copy of TY, and it was the one with Michelle's picture on it. And that was the first thing I did when I got back from Ottawa, and that was 2012 because I just got my license signed by Dr. Cameron, right? But yeah,
right.
Nice.
Yeah, you haven't heard that name in a while, eh?
No, yeah, that's a
I had to fly, and I had to drive in a blizzard from Toronto to Cohill to get my signature, because in Alberta the doctors were actively blocking, when they still do, the college and physicians. My doctor refused to sign me in Alberta, so I flew. I came to that protest in Ottawa, and then I jumped in a car and I drove to Cohill in a blizzard to get my signature in Cohill. You bet.
Do you know
It was that
Dr.
important. It was that important to me.
Dr. Kammerman's approached me and asked me when he came to Canada from Florida. He asked me to start getting patients, and that's what started the ball rolling.
Well, you know what? If it wasn't for Michelle saying, if you don't get legal, if you get legal, you can be louder. And she says, we'll get whatever it takes to get you your license. And then, but then we had a little accident. We had Taven, so I had to stop.
Yeah, you bet.
I just want to jump in here just for a second. John's got to say goodbye.
I got like 2% of my battery. Yeah, sorry guys.
Thanks for coming. Thanks so much for coming.
Much love, you guys.
Take good care, honey. Good to see you. Take good care of yourself.
We'll talk again.
For sure, guys. Thanks again. Much love, and a little bit of silence for Marco, and we'll keep his memory going like we always have with everybody.
Always.
Right.
Peace and grace, guys, with gratitude and love.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Jan.
Thanks again.
There you go. All right. Am I hearing Jeff there? No, okay. You were going to say something. You were saying something.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, as far as anybody interested in watching a bit of a highlight of Treating Yourself Expo Day 1,
Yes.
we'll go to what do we got here? Day 1 highlights of 2012. I think that's the right one. Okay. Day 1 highlights.
Woohoo.
I just got to blow it up. And put it there.
Nice.
Bunch of buttons to click, people. It just takes me a little while.
2012. Wow. Woohoo.
We're here today at the Treating Yourself Expo, the 3rd annual, and we're here to show the government that this is a viable industry where they're really losing millions, if not billions, of potential tax revenue by products to seeds to clothing.
Well, we're here selling our new can of bombs called Bare Knuckle Booster Bomb. It's all natural. It works great for aches and pains, and my best friend gets to sleep every night.
We have for the first year 9 glass blowers from the United States, 9 of the top glass blowers coming here to do a demonstration.
We basically have a flame off. It's a glass blowing competition.
We're here to help promote the culture because the glass industry is still in its infancy here in Canada. The credibility of cannabis being used as medicine is being more and more recognized. And to be able to enhance the event and to show the credibility of the event, we're bringing in those professionals. We're bringing in the professors, the readers, and the doctors. They are here at the event.
What I'm into is standardized oral cannabis preps. If you eat cannabis, you go on to a 4 to 6 hour plateau where you'll get relief all through that time period.
It's certainly not in my economic interest for them to change any of these laws. The more things they prohibit, the better it is for me financially. I defend people who are charged with these offenses. And yet I'm saying it's stupid.
In this country, there are only 800 doctors that will sign a permission form to get medical marijuana. That is absolutely outrageous when you think of the amount of doctors that can prescribe all kinds of medicine and will not put down their signature on this form for fear, and it's usually due to old school thinking. That's just the way it is. Today we're just here demonstrating the vaporizer that we brought, mostly to show patients that there's a better way than smoking meds. Smoking is still smoking, it's not good for you. Vaporizing is much cleaner and a much healthier way to go.
Treating Yourself Expo is fantastic because it's really helped us get our product out to the thousands of people that need it. Marco's done an incredible job in the 3 years that he's been doing this, and we really appreciate what he's done for the cause and for the people that actually need it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There we go.
That was awesome.
So awesome. Huh?
Great memories.
And that's the thing. We've got it all on. You got it all on video.
You can
so
see
that's so great.
You can see the. Yes. Being able to, it's all history.
It is
of what we did, what people did in order to fight, get to where we are now, and we got to continue to do it because there's always room for improvement, right?
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
But you know what I love? I love the fact that the the glass blowers were there from around the world. That was one thing I will never forget being at that TY Expo. That was absolutely incredible.
and the work that they could do, and I,
The
I
glass work.
yeah, and seeing like they put almost like a little town inside of a marble.
Did I know? Wasn't that
And you got,
incredible?
how do they do do that? It's just,
But from all around the world, I remember the glass blowers were from all around the world. And I remember, like you said, talking to a fellow from Japan. And I
Yep.
remember thinking, like, his work was just unbelievable. And I remember thinking again, Marco had gotten all of these people together, all of us in one spot in the Metropolitan Convention Center to show the world and Toronto especially that we were hurting nobody.
what do you got there, Jeff?
Redbeard made me this for my fancy
You
chicken
gotta blow it up.
racing.
Oh,
I was gonna say that's a red beard. You can definitely see that's one of Pat's.
right on.
That was for the 24 hours of Lemons race. He made me this just recently, and that was a bucket list.
Oh yes.
I always wanted to race in a real race, and Redbeard made this just for fancy chicken racing out of Abbotsford.
Right
on. Redbeard, just so you know.
Very
go ahead,
cool.
There you go. He created a post on behalf of Marco, and I've got it right here, and I'm going to read it off. And what he said is, "Rest in peace, Marco." So the TY Expo and Cup was legendary. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to make the trophies. Marco individually supported more glass blowers than anyone else I can think of. I remember when he showed up with Shane King in our glass gathering. Shane said Marco had never camped and usually stayed in fancy hotels. Marco slept in their rental car all weekend and never complained once. Pretty sure our little mountainside event blew his mind. Thanks for the memories, Marcos. Rest easy, bud.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he like brought people together, not on the campus, the glass. Not only did he do Treating Yourself magazine, but he also published Glass Culture magazine.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, I believe it only survived about 8 issues, 8 or 9 issues. But still, he got the magazine out there, gave the glass blowers some coverage, on the stuff that they did. Yeah, like
This guy made a lot of puppies that were sold for $4.22 all over Toronto. This is Stitch, and he was the father of all those white puppies. He's 16 now.
Oh, wow.
I lost the mama. She passed away like 6 months ago, but the dude's still alive. He's still kicking. And Tracy had one of his pups, and Sarah had one of his pups, and so did Barasas had one of his pups, and Brittany had one of his pups, and so he's got puppies that were sold for $4.20 all over the country. The $4.20 Chihuahua.
Yeah, Tamara's got a few of them in there.
He was like, I bought the 2 first, right? I bought Peter and him first because I wasn't having a baby, right? And all of a sudden, 39, all of a sudden I was having a baby.
Oh, right.
Remember? Oh, hemp seeds. Everybody watched little hemp seed grow. Now the hemp seeds like 5, 6 foot tall weed.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
15.
Whoa.
Oh, there's just Chihuahuas. See, it rubs off, folks. It rubs off.
Beautiful.
I don't think Marco had a Chihuahua, but
No, but Sarah Sunday had one of my pups too, and Tracy had one of my pups, and yeah, and like I said, Barasas had one of my pups, and oh gosh, I can't even remember. Caleb has one of my pups. Like they're just everywhere. And then like I said, Brittany Ann bought one of my pups, and one of her friends. Yeah, everybody had pups.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Just so you know, Jeremy, whoops, wrong button. Jeremy's got to head out.
Bye, Jeremy. Nice
Yeah,
to
pleasure
see
meeting
you.
you guys.
Thanks
All
so
the
much
best
for
to
coming.
Marco.
The
And sharing all those great stories.
Magazine.
What do you know? What issue? Or I guess you, like you said earlier on, you had a bunch of articles.
Yeah, I was
and
in
bunch
quite
of
a lot of them. In fact, I remember I went into the cannabis college one time when I was in Amsterdam, and there was a bunch of issues on the table. And one of the articles that was open to was one of my articles about an event in California. So
There you go.
Wow.
I'm in a lot of them. You know, you can look for it there. I have a website called theskyisland.com. I make films now. So I have a few different cannabis medicine films and films about my old past and stuff. So
Make one about the cannabis culture in Canada and Chad Jeremy.
yeah, I might do that someday. I know where
Yeah.
We're all
I'd love to come
gone.
out there.
Yeah, you gotta come north and do a video up here.
Yeah, let's stay in touch.
Definitely.
All righty. Well,
Take care of
thank you
yourself,
very much,
Paul.
Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you guys. All the best.
Bye,
All
no.
the best. Bye bye. There you go. All righty. I see Jeff still with us. He's got the picture there up.
You bet.
What a beautiful picture. That's beautiful.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
There it is.
Beautiful.
A lot of people might not know this about me, but I'm actually from Chicago via San Diego. I was imported by Michelle.
Oh, you're kidding. I didn't
No,
know.
I knew that. No, I knew that.
Oh.
I knew that. I knew she imported him from the States.
So,
Good taste.
yeah. So on Good Friday, this past Good Friday, that marked 21 years as a Canadian.
Wow.
And
God bless. Congratulations.
well, now you can add to your memories. That was the passing day of Marco on a Good Friday.
Yeah. I mean, he just changed the landscape of everything, and getting to write and edit a lot of the articles. And I remember everybody that was in the magazine back then, and the fact that we're still in touch and still friends now, that's a testament to how strong this bond is.
That's so
Correct.
true.
It is. And we all came together for one reason, and that was to educate people about cannabis.
Exactly.
And Marco gave us a spot to do that.
But I got a confession to make. And that's after Michelle passed, and then after I got to speak at Idea City in 2011. Coming home, I was in a lot of pain with my arthritis, and I got one of those seats that was against the bulkhead, and it wouldn't go back all the way.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I wound up just standing for most of that flight, and I kind of did a lot of soul searching, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be allowed to stay in Canada, being that Michelle was my sponsor.
Wow.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep the mortgage on this house because it was in her name only.
Right.
The saving grace was that it came out of a bank account that I started right after I moved here.
Oh,
And
thank goodness.
so I kind of had to sort of keep my head to the grindstone, and that led me to forging a relationship with Noah Shabib, Drake's producer.
Right.
And I kind of just did the underground thing as an American sort of outlaw. I was afraid to stick my head up. I couldn't afford to play the whack-a-mole game that everybody up here born in Canada can do.
Yeah.
So that's my confession. And I kept Michelle's dream alive, and I kept the house alive, which was her. She said, get a dog, take care of the house. And now I've got two of the most wonderful chihuahuas.
You're amazing.
Good. That's good.
Could you just imagine how much she would love on Tuffy and Marley if she was around? I mean, can you even fathom? They're just the cutest dogs. And
They're addicting. I have 10 of them.
Oh.
I have eight.
I've just written them into a 10-book series of graphic novels called Reactivated, the Chihuahua Chronicles, where me and them and my drift trike travel, saving dreams, saving the world from people who are trying to kill dreams, including Vincent Threadbare. I envision being played by Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
And, I've got a whole cadre of squad mates, and it's just hilarious. A partial dream 8 days ago has spawned into 10 chapter books.
Wow.
Wow.
And the
I
first
love
one is
your creative
available.
mind.
The first one is available on Kindle right now as we speak.
Wow.
I couldn't have done that.
Congratulations.
I couldn't have done that without this community, without Michelle, without her love and constant support.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I forgot that I knew how to write.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's been a while since I've done some writing, switched over to podcasts with some writing.
Me too. I haven't written since 12 high checks. Like it's been a long time since I actually read anything.
Yeah.
I have a book sitting on my bedside on my what do you call it, hope chest right beside me that I wrote 30 years ago that I still haven't published.
I'm lucky if I can write in my daytime or what I did the day before.
I've got my I've got a photo album opened up on Facebook here, and of the expo, and I'm going to bring it into the picture here if I can find the right tab to do so.
You bet.
Okay, there we go. I've got her now. There. I'll leave us on the screen too. Hey, this is inside the Vapor Lounge, and this is a couple of volunteers.
All right.
Paul. Yeah, and Mama or Ganja Pizzas. I'll get it right. It's Joanne, but I just tried Grandma Peaches. There we go.
Okay.
Grandma Peaches. There's Ted Smith, Hempology.
Ted Smith,
101.
right.
Yeah.
Right on.
With Gail, Ted and Gail.
Beautiful. Good picture.
Jeff and Remo.
Right on.
Some of the vendors.
You bet.
Yeah. This is the Treating Yourself booth. This is my friend 420 Deb.
Yeah.
That's there. There's some people there looking at glass.
Good crowd.
Yeah. You can see all the people in the background.
You bet.
Yeah, that van he had plants growing, and you can see the lights.
Excuse me.
Garden. Yes. Right. The expo, and all the vendors on the floor, they all had that hard sidewall. They had that overhead banner like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had that for Leap too.
Yeah.
I had that hard sidewall and that overhead banner thing as well.
There's Amy.
Wonder.
And look at that. You will never see
Right
a
on.
cannabis plant at an expo again.
Wow.
You know, I've
Those
talked to
were
some.
the days.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you know, I've talked to some of the vendors, not vendors, but some of the CEOs of events because of covering them, and
Right.
they would never be allowed to do anything like that these days.
Right.
Yeah, crowd in the lounge.
Wow.
Ted speaking with people.
Good
Relax in the booth. They were a photo booth, I believe.
Beautiful.
Some pipes.
You bet.
Dr. William Courtney, one of the speakers at the expo. The doctor is now in Venezuela. And I know that because I did an interview with him this week.
Wow.
Which will be airing in a couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It was good. It was good. It was good talking with him. I'll tell you. And there's his wife,
Excuse me.
Kristen.
Beautiful.
There's Marco, and the reporter from the Naked News. You can see that right in her hand.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Peter McWilliams T-shirt.
You bet he is.
Look at the look on his face, eh?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
some buds. We had buds on display.
Right.
There's John Burfello with Medtainer.
Beautiful.
Clinics, signing clinics. Normal Women's Alliance.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you were in that booth or not, Tamara.
I was that year. I was at the Normal Women's Alliance booth, and the year before that, I was with Dana at the End Prohibition booth.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, and there's Puff Mama's there.
Yeah.
Glass. Corey. I remember speaking to him. Now that I see his name there.
Yeah.
Some of his glass. Like, look at that. It's all functional.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Isn't it?
Wow.
Eh?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The talent. I remember that year. The talent was just off the charts.
It is. Yeah, this would be the year of the challenge of the different countries.
You bet. That was incredible. Gary and I actually had a lot of pictures of the glass blowers that year. Gary was just absolutely just
and to do this, in order to be able to do this, he had to be inspected, had to pass all kinds of there's Team Canada regulations and things because of the torches and being inside.
Wow.
So they had to, get all that cleared. And there's a TY booth. There's
you bet.
Tammy Wade.
Yep.
And I know this fellow's name. I just I was able to I purchased a Treating Yourself vapor bong off of him that he had won.
Right.
Through Treating Yourself magazine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could get his name by just opening up the box, whereas of his because it's on the vape on the.
It's funny because I just found my TY jar the other day in my cupboard, and it's weird that it just kind of popped up from nowhere. Yeah.
The crew from KDK.
You bet.
A crowd of people.
Good.
Oh, you know who this is? It's Franco from Greenhouse Seeds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's who that is right there at the back of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't recognize so many people. It's been so long.
He's singing.
That's Darren Dumas.
Correct.
Darren Dumas from singing. He's singing there.
Yes. Yeah. They performed.
Mr. D. That's Mr. D. Darren Dumas. He's a friend of ours.
Correct. Yes.
Right
he's in two bands, is he not?
I think it was Bob Barley that played there that year. That might have been Bob Barley.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Kiss Darren. We still see Darren.
There's a big tent, big grow tent.
Right on.
On the floor comes some more glass. Dr. Courtney again.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
His daughter right up there on stage, eh?
Wow. Love it.
Go again. Calm. Marco, some glass. Yeah, that's the oven they had it on. There you go. Normal Woman's Kelly and John Conroy.
You bet.
My friend Deb. There's the floor plan. And you can see here there
Look
was
at the size
98 vendors.
Wow.
This is in 5 years before it was even legalized, and even 2 years before a politician even thought about bringing it forward. Let's discuss it, right?
You bet.
And
it wasn't even talked about until 2014. It was right before, it was all through 2013, 2014, because we had meetings from the first 2012 from Ottawa on kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we were at the 2014 convention in Montreal. And that's when it was actually thrown onto the floor for policy. It was voted on by the delegates of the Liberal Party and then became policy with the Liberal Party so that it could be put into a ballot question for the 2015 election.
Wow. Wow.
There you go.
And we were there. And I was a delegate for the Crowfoot riding out of Alberta. And I got to vote. And help the young Liberals write that because we had, they needed some input, right? So there's a bunch of us. It wasn't just me. Judith Reynolds was there. Dana was there. Kelly was there, Loretta Clark was there. There's a whole bunch of us, right?
Right.
We all gave a little bit of input.
You
They
can,
threw the policy together, and boom, there you have it.
you can see here on the floor drawing the glass blowing area where the vapor lounge was. And let's not forget about Vape on the Lake.
Yes. Which
as
I never
well.
got to. I was saying that to somebody the other day. I never actually got to Vape on the Lake.
Oh, really?
Not there ever.
Really? I see
Yeah.
Jeff is with us. What are we looking at now?
That's just Michelle.
Oh, just the shelf. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because Marco moved to Mexico, and then Shane King took over Vape on the Lake, and then Shane moved to Mexico.
Yeah.
And now hopefully Shane's waiting for Marco when he gets to the next level, because he's going to be in with some pretty damn good company. If you think of everybody that's passed before Marco, he's got a lot of people that are he's going to be in some really good company.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a lot of people in our community that passed on. Put up a good fight. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
No doubt about that whatsoever.
That's the saddest part about being involved in this with medical issues.
Yes.
Well,
You know,
is that
our friends, you know, unfortunately, you know, some of them succumb to their condition.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them
Right.
don't make it.
And
that
Corey Yellen too, right? That was shocking.
Yeah.
Very shocking.
I never knew Corey either. I never knew Corey either.
I knew Corey. She was like, I knew her pretty well, and I didn't even know. I knew she was not feeling well. I thought it was like a flu. It was so shocking.
God bless. God bless. God, I'll tell you.
Again,
Marco, again, very unexpected, but he did a lot of good work here in Canada for the issue of cannabis as medicine, and that I will be forever grateful for.
Yeah. More pictures. TY booth, Pace. Those banners off to the right side there.
Yeah.
They were used up to about 2 weeks ago until I moved into a new office, and I haven't set it up yet. I've still used those banners. Yes.
Wow. Beautiful.
And the white one on the wall. That blanket, I used it at Can Expo.
Unbelievable.
And at other events. And stuff, right?
Wow. That's beautiful.
Buddy Weed's got a comment here. Buddy says that so many memories. I met Remo and the String Hunters and many others there. Same here, buddy. I know what you mean. I got. It
was like a family reunion once a year.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It was.
Really was. We kind of knew that there was always going to be a TY. And we're always going to meet up at TY no matter when it was, and then it wasn't.
There's a plant. Look at the size of the plant on the show floor.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Crazy.
Oh, yeah. A high society glass.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Great picture.
Medtainers. These here, these are for the cup. Each jar had a sample in it, and each one was labeled. So the judges ended up with 20 or 25 of these grinders and storage containers. Right? And then you can see that you have MedCan access. There's Blaine Darrow.
There's Blaine. I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Lots of great.
Oh, the early vaporizers, the Da Vinci.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I had one.
These people that are in this picture, Clarence, I still talk to him. Holly in the middle there, I see her on Facebook. And Allie here on the end, and she has opened up her own business doing beauty end of things, right? That's what she's involved with. And so, they're all still supporters of cannabis, obviously. Humber Valley Seed Company. Do you remember them?
Not sure.
Okay, that would be. Do you remember Kevin? Forat. I can't pronounce his last name, but Humber Valley Seeds. They are where I got the strain that I'm still growing today. 15 years later, I got it from them, and it is called Grape Escape. And
Oh, you're
Tamara
kidding.
can tell you about the Grape Escape, how well it's doing.
Wow.
I've been blessed to be able to pass it out to the cannabis substitution program too, thanks to
Wow,
my anonymous sponsor.
Beautiful. Super.
Yeah, and good strains. This is John, Med Tanner, Simon,
Right
and
on.
look at the plant
Like
beside
I
him.
was just gonna say.
Like I can't even grow plants in my house. It's just like it breaks me because I just don't have the power. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see in behind the camera on this picture, there's a booth, and these people are getting massages. You can see them in the chair, right?
See.
So it's not just
He thought of
cannabis.
everything. He thought of everything. Like there was
Yeah.
massages, there was food, there was this, that. Like there was nothing that he really missed. Really.
I
No,
agree.
yeah. This is the pollinator. I believe this is the pollinator here.
Wow,
And,
right.
and look over to the right, you can see the Magic Flight booth.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's where
That's Julie.
I met Julie. That's the first time I met Julie.
Yeah, that's when I
Peralta.
first met Julie too. In fact, I
Wow.
got a magic plate. I have one of those still,
Yeah,
and the little
cool.
grinder that you had to buy to grind. Yeah, actually, I just found that the other day.
Oh wow.
Pollen tumbler. There's Twister. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, they were cannabis friendly. This
Insane, look at
campground.
this.
They're cannabis friendly. You can see that on their signs. Eh? Yeah, even they were there.
Oh,
At
I
the,
so enjoy
That's so many connections, and I think that's the word that I think that's the saddest part about not having these events. I mean, sure, the legal industry does have these events type kind of thing, but you have to be in the legal industry and you have to be part of their little, group or whatever to be involved in them, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not involved. I'm not in that little group, so I don't get to attend them. But it's like I said, it's like a family reunion. It's like you go to see. I met so many of my good friends at. And I kept them. I never got into cannabis activism to make friends, but I'm sure grateful I did.
Oh my gosh.
Georgia Tunes, great cartoons
Wow,
within the magazine.
Yeah.
This is Jeff, Cannabis Heals Crohn's.
Beautiful.
There we go. I had to get a close up of that. There's Georgia Tunes booth with all her.
Wasn't that David Shea? Or was that
Pardon me?
that was Jeff? I thought that guy looks like David Shea.
Jeff Boulay. He did drawing on the floor.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have that. I think that's in my other album. But like there's literally hundreds of pictures in these albums, so there's no way I'll get through them all, right? But you can just see the work, the glass blowers. And getting in there, you get like all the links, the chains, and
You bet. Wow, look
yeah,
at that.
yeah. Look at that, eh?
Wow.
Like,
Oh
was
my
that
God.
whether that was a bell or
That's
who knows?
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Me.
Just speeding through Canadian team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Right on.
Yeah, Expo was always good. It was always a good time there. So
Was so.
I'm just trying to. There we go. So,
Oh,
but
great memories, Al. Great memories.
and it's just we don't see them anymore. Not like
Nope.
this.
No, it certainly has changed, hasn't it?
Sure has.
I'm
Sure
glad
has.
we were around in those days, though. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm glad we were
Yeah.
there.
Me too. Me
'Cause
too.
we
Like
probably-
we'll never understand what we had. Right?
No,
They'll
other
never
people will
understand.
never understand what we had. Other people will
Yeah.
never realize how good we had it then.
I was interviewing a person connected to Lyft at the Lyft Expo,
Right.
and they told me that they were the first person to have an expo at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. I didn't want to, what do you say?
should have. You
I know.
should have.
I
would have corrected him.
did.
I would have said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No.
I spoke to their what do you call it? secretary or
Right.
person that connects everything for them,
Right.
because that they just sort of come and go. So I spoke to their rep, and I told them all about the Treating Yourself Expo. I told them to take a look, to look it up online. I actually even showed them videos of it, and they were
Okay.
just flabbergasted. I said,
Wow.
yeah, like this was going on well before Lyft even
They
existed.
don't know unless
I
they're
see,
told.
I see
Well, the
Jeff
thing
is
is, they don't do they don't do it. They don't educate
Yeah.
themselves beforehand, right? They don't look
Yeah.
ahead to, even honor the people that were there
Yeah.
before them. There was people
Exactly.
before me, like you got
Everybody
you.
thinks they're the
you know?
first ones.
I know. And they're
Yeah.
trying to reinvent the wheel all the time, and then I hear their little, their things, and it's like, oh my God, here we go again.
Okay, I see Jeff has sent me a message, and he has some words he wants to say.
You bet.
Hey, you guys! I just wanted to really appreciate. I wanted to tell you how much I really appreciate being on the Pace radio station today, and I wanted to give a shout out to you, Al, having me, and a few fallen comrades I'd like to mention. Neil Magnuson,
Yes.
Yes.
Greg Marijuana Man.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'd like to throw a shout out to Kara 420, Kara Haywood.
Yeah.
And good friends.
Yeah.
I miss them. And live friends, which is Dr. Jamie Matthews and Anita Kuntz and Moses Neimer.
Yes.
Yes, Moses.
I'd like to throw out some love for people who couldn't be here. Ramo and Sandy of Ramo Nutrients.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
best people
they've
ever.
been guests.
Love
They've been
that.
guests
Love
on the
them.
show.
Good people, like good,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
nutrients, great people. Yeah. Of course, my dear wife Michelle Rainey, who continues to inspire.
And she continues to educate people.
Yeah, and of course, Patrick Redbeard, David Malmo Levine,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bennett,
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian Purdue. I just got Chris Bennett's new book.
Oh, beautiful.
Let me get that.
Beautiful. Love to see it. Show that off, Jeff, for sure.
I got that right here.
Chris is brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Congratulations, Chris.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh,
Yes.
I love
Yay!
it. Yay. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Such
Yeah.
a good guy. And yeah, I'd just like to say a shout out to the whole entire cannabis community. Thank you for always being there, and I'm proud to know you.
We're proud to know you, my friend. We really
Yes.
thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for coming on to the show. And I thought that maybe you're only going to stick around for a few minutes, but you've been here for quite a while. Appreciate that. Well, maybe we'll have you back on as a guest, and we'll do an actual interview with you.
That'd be really good. Yeah, let's do that for sure.
All right.
Anytime,
Okay.
yeah. I'd be more than honored. Thanks, you guys. Have a great night.
Excellent.
You
Thank
too.
you, Christina.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, see ya.
All right. I got a comment here.
Right.
Okay. Buddy Weeds. Buddy Weeds
That's
joins in
awesome.
on a lot of our programs. He says the time we had on Earth with Marco was such a blessing. He left a mark on cannabis, and his legacy lives on.
It
Yeah.
does.
It
It
does.
really
And it's so fitting that we bring everybody else's name into this because their legacies all intertwine, right?
Yeah.
Because
better.
at
All
some
connected.
point we've all touched each other, like
No.
whether like in some way, like they say 2 degrees of separation, but in our community we've all been at one place at one time together at one point,
Yeah.
and we've touched each other. So you know what I mean? Like,
I want to just take a few minutes here before we run out of time, and just relay some of the messages that I read off Patrick's earlier.
Yes.
Glenn Wells, he says, my condolences to you and the family. Rest in peace, Marco. He was a proper fellow. That was from Daniel Langell.
Beautiful.
Clark Matthews says, if it wasn't for Marco, I'd never have found the glass event, the one that Patrick was talking about.
Wow, right.
John Conroy says, sad to hear this. Rest in peace, Marco. Freddie Ferron, a true legend, he says. David Scott says that Marco has gone with a question mark. Wow, what a year, man. I got him as growers and won some of the cups and generally always had his support and friendship. He was a great example of a passionate medical cannabis advocate. I remember the last time he and Michelle Rainey and I talked and broke bread in Toronto. I have the TY War Bong in the cabinet that came with the cups at his event.
Wow.
Yeah. Tara Lee says, my condolences to you on the loss of your friend. And Amy Brown says, rest in peace, Marco. Thank you for all you did for our community. A true Canna warrior. Danielle Daguerre says, they're all in heaven for 420 now. So many warriors now. Debbie Fagan, Keith's wife. And there's another name to add to the list of people that Marco is now with.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace, Marco. Sam Lasco from the Trailer Park Boys.
Right.
Sad news. Rest in peace, Marco.
Wow.
John Byro. No way is what he says.
Wow.
No way. Jordan Comden. Rest in peace. He had a great eye for glass art and helped so many. Naomi, our friend Naomi Poling.
Yeah.
Sad news for our cannabis community. Farewell, my friend.
Yes.
Craig McEachran, he's a former host here on the network. We remember fondly how TY broke down the barriers of cannabis medicinally and otherwise. It was always a great visit at Pipe Dreams when we knew this prohibition was a thing we needed to abolish. Marco was a true champion of the view that cannabis matters. Lucky that we were able to share time.
Yes.
Yes.
Bless.
Amber McIntyre, sad day. The weekend to go, though, because it was Easter weekend, right? Steve Biggs. This is very sad. Another legend has passed. Rest in peace,
Recognize
Marco.
all of these names, Al.
Yeah, same here. Jamie Lemoire. Rest in peace, Weed Master. He was such a nice man. One dab with him, and he treated you like family every time you seen him.
Wow.
Adam Schofield. Sorry to hear. The TY forums helped me find a doctor for my MMAR back when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I met Marco once at the first TY Expo where I briefly volunteered at one of the booths.
Wow.
I'm happy to see that he made it as far as he did and accomplished so much. Phil Soloranzo, great guy, helped me get my product out back in the day. Met him in Canada at the Toronto Freedom Festival, which is which is the Global Marijuana March, which is this Saturday. Then we went to Spanibus Cup in Spain together.
Wow.
Are you guys having a march this weekend?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are. We'll be there tomorrow. Every year, 26 years running.
Yeah. He introduced me to countless people, always happy and helping. Rest in peace, my guy.
Wow.
Adrian Cankino. Oh man, you almost made it to 420.
Wow.
That's what he says. Jesse James, rest in peace, Marco. You'll be missed, my Benny, and thank you for my experience at the TY Expo and its after parties. And thank you for all the knowledge I was able to receive and share with others in my hometown and doctors.
Fabulous. Wow.
Chris Mills, Such sad news. Marco, your efforts and dedication to our community will never be forgotten. The Treating Yourself Expos were groundbreaking for this part of the
Sure.
world and appreciated more than you could ever imagine. Your memory will be carried on and cherished via the friendships that started at your events over the years. And what did we just discuss tonight?
You bet we did. That's all we've been talking about. Al.
Yeah. And then
Unbelievable.
he goes on to say, heart and soul is what you had, and that is exactly what you gave to our community and the world. Gone, but never forgotten. May your spirit have a safe journey home to our Creator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Dean Cabin, rest in peace, Marco. You were responsible for putting on the best cannabis expos in Canada, and I'm honored to have known you and been part of your endeavors. Thanks for being a real one. Much love and respect. Till we meet again, my friend.
Yes.
Dakota
Beautiful.
Evans. Oh no, sad to hear. He helped me in so many ways, and I taught him a few tricks for his old dog Tyson. Rest in peace, Marco. You're one of a kind.
Wow.
Yeah. Rob Waddell. You know Rob.
I know Rob well. You
Rest
bet.
in peace, my friend.
Wow.
Kate Whitehead. Marco was an awesome person. Spent many hours chatting with him online.
Wow.
Yeah. Steve French. So sad to hear. Eric Short. Farewell, Marco. Laurie McEachran. Very sad news.
Right.
Yeah, they just Patrick McLean.
On and on.
Yeah, I just gotta read this last one here.
Unbelievable.
Patrick McLean says, "My condolences. I was at the 2013 TY Expo and had the honor to judge the Cannabis Cup. At the time, I was fighting for my freedom from being arrested for trying to start a co-op medical group grow facility.
Yes.
It was there that I was introduced to some very good people. I fought my charges and won because of the networking. I was
Yes.
able to do there. He helped create a venue that would help people in real situations. That's something that I always remember and hold close to my heart. Plus, the Harbor Cruise was a blast.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. All those
Yeah.
incredible memories. Incredible memories.
Tamara, you're muted, Tamara.
I said I didn't get to enjoy the cruise, but I lived vicariously through all of you.
Yeah.
I didn't go on the cruise either, but I heard all about it, you crazy party.
I was on them. Yeah, everyone. So, but yeah, so there you go. We'll close out the show with those words of the people that he touched and the people that he helped throughout his journey with Treating Yourself Magazine.
So many.
Yeah, so many, exactly.
So many. Endless.
Yeah, and Buddy Weeds says, "Thank you for hosting us, Al." Very welcome, Buddy Weeds. It's
Thank you, Buddy Wees, for all your wonderful comments, my friend.
you know, we
Such a good work.
talked. Yeah, we talked so much, you know, that I never even showed the magazine on
Yeah.
on
And
the
we blew
thing.
through the time so quickly. And like when we
Yeah,
do that,
it did.
you know, we could do
Yeah.
another full show, I'm sure, all about it.
I'm sure. And just so you know, you can see here behind me.
Yeah.
It's
You got your office.
I got my office partially set up. And,
Nice.
it's Marco's. It's Marco's desk.
Aw.
Oh, beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and Marco, he gave that to me several years ago, but in those last days of last weeks and spending time with them and stuff, we had a lot of time to talk, and we had stuff and wanted to pass on, right? So,
That's great, Al. That's a beautiful memory. That's a beautiful
it'll
memory.
be
Think
right
of all
here.
the hours and all the things that were created on that desk, and all the
Yeah.
more
Oh,
creative
yeah.
that you do with that desk. That the creations will live on through you.
You bet. You bet.
No.
And thank you for being there for him, Al, because that's a tough thing to have
I
to go through.
appreciate it too.
So,
All
And
right,
I'm so
guys.
sorry for your loss, Al, again.
It's time. that we have to say goodbye. It's the end of the show. We got another broadcast following in behind us, so we got to shut things down. Allison, last
Thank
words.
you for including me, my friend, so very much. It was an absolute honor to be involved in this podcast. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Tamara. Thank you so much, Al. I really appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure, Dusty. Yeah, always.
I love you guys.
Always a
We
pleasure.
love you too.
Always a pleasure.
Love you too.
Tamara, anything?
No, just love the people that you love and hug them close because tomorrow's not always promised.
You bet,
No,
exactly.
you bet. Exactly. It's not. All right. Other than that, Tamara and I'll be back next week. Thanks go to our sponsors. We didn't run their ads during the show, but I will run an ad promo as we close out the broadcast to make sure that let people know who help us
Who you are.
bring our
Yeah,
voice.
Help
forward.
us.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right. Other than
bye.
that, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Allison. Thanks to our sponsors. I always have to say this at the end. Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, and at ease.ca. Thanks to all our guests that appeared tonight in order to talk about Marco and sharing memories to all you, to everybody who tuned into the broadcast. Thank you. And
Good night.
good night.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
I'm having an awesome day, and I'm gonna make sure it stays that way. I'm having an awesome day, and I'm gonna make sure it stays that way.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at Pace Radio. Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. You're watching the 420 Pace, found at 420pace.ca. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Yeah, you feel that? Welcome to the session. Let's vibe. Roll one up, let's take flight. Bass hits deep, ride the night. Smoking sound, it's paradise. High vibes only feeling right. High vibes, let it flow. Deep bass, watch it glow. Dub hits, rock and roll. We light it up and take it slow. Moonlight beams through the haze, blunt burn slow, lost in space, no stress here, just let go. Dr. High sets the show. Yeah, we vibing, we riding. Welcome to the High Vibe Session. Welcome to the High Vibe Session.
Hey, Can fam. How are you? How's everything? Welcome to episode 5 of High Vibes with Dr. High. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. If you're here, check it out. Tonight will be an interesting night. We'll have lots of new music that hasn't been heard before. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it all. We're going to have a theme kind of tonight. I was speaking with somebody the other week who was a veteran and was talking about the difficulty of accessing cannabis in the U.S. as a veteran through the VA. And as far as I'm concerned, I believe that veterans are a group that could be extremely well served from the inclusion of cannabis therapy in their treatment from the results of trauma suffered from going into a war zone or being in battle or serving in the military. You know, it's an integral thing that these guys have, put their lives on the line to protect others, to help serve Canada, the United States, whatever the case may be. And the harms that come from that service need to somehow be mitigated at the other end, if possible. And cannabis is a real viable option for this. So as I got to thinking about it, I decided that I wanted to try and create some music that was designed to show that veterans can have great outcomes from the inclusion of cannabis. The stories that they would have, their journeys, hopefully it's going to resonate with the veteran community. It's somebody we should be advocating for, that group. Canada's pretty good about it. I believe last year they compensated or reimbursed somewhere around 21,000 veterans to the tune of around $167 million. So bravo, Canada. It's a step in the right direction for sure. But, there are many others that could benefit from this in countries around the world. And this is going to be some stories of veterans. So let's get right into it. And we're going to start with a little song that I'm sure a lot of veterans in the United States would be familiar with it. And it's called Doc Said Pills. Let's go.
Doc said pills will fix me. Said the tremble go away. Xannies in the morning, Oxy just to make it through the day. But the lights got dimmer and my smile got fake. Felt like I was drifting in a body I didn't make. Doc said pills, but they stole my mind. Left me empty, just killing time. Popping scripts that made me bleed. What I needed was a goddamn weed. Not a bottle, just a leaf to breathe. Doc said pills, but I said please. I missed my kid's birthday. Didn't even feel the shame. Just a fog wrapped around my shoulders and a number with no name. Started thinking I might fade, leave the world real slow, until I lit one from a friend and felt my heartbeat glow. Doc said pills, but they stole my mind. Left me hollow, left me blind. The side effects felt worse than war. Numbed my soul down to the core, but that flower lit a different road. Now I breathe and I carry the load. Don't get me wrong, I still got days, still got ghosts that don't behave. But I'd rather roll a joint and feel than live like I'm not even real. That green gave me more than meds ever could. Hell, even Dr. High understood. Doc said pills, but I said no. Found my peace in the seeds I grow. No more bottles, no more change, just a little green to ease the pain. They tried to cure me with control, but I saved my damn soul. Yeah, Doc said pills, but I took a toke and healed instead.
So there it is. Doc said pills. I'm sure there are a lot of veterans that would tell that same story, especially in the U.S. And it's not the way to go. I mean, if there's a natural way to help alleviate the symptoms of the scars that we don't see inside these people, and the scars we can see too, why wouldn't we look at that route first, right? Medication should be a last resort if there's a natural option, especially one that has really never killed anybody and is detrimental to only a small segment of society. So it should be the first treatment option. And then from there, we look at pharmaceuticals. But anyway, so next song is called Trigger Discipline. And trigger discipline is about control, about patience, about waiting for that exact right moment to move forward and pull. And this is something that's bred into soldiers. So when they come home, you know, they're disciplined people. And to be able to turn to cannabis as a way to relax out of that discipline and begin to feel normal again, get back to the state they were in before their service, or to the most peaceful state possible anyway. So cannabis is a blessing to this community, and it should be accessible to all. Anyway, here we go. Trigger discipline. Enjoy.
Trained to breathe.
command, still twitching with a shaky hand. Startled by the silence, shadow in the fridge light. Now I light green fire and reclaim my fight. Trigger discipline in my lungs. Pulled from war, now I run. Smoke's my safety, fire's fun. I'm locked in, but I'm not done. Trigger reset, hit the drum. I blaze peace, I don't play dumb.
Red eyes in the mirror, but I see me. Scars don't lie, but they free me. I ain't docile, I ain't weak. I'm the calm you wish you could keep. Toke like tactics, roll like rounds. Every leaf is sacred ground. Doctor high on the sleeve I own. Every puff like taking the throne.
Trigger discipline in my lungs. Pulled from war, now I run. Smoke's my shield, not my gun. I roll calm, I blink sun. Trigger reset, battle's won. This time I choose how it's done. Click, breathe, light it, hold. I'm not broken, I'm bold. Every flame a front line, every toke is mine. They train me to fight, now I fight to feel. Trigger locked and it's real.
Trigger discipline, yeah, I'm lit. Target peace, I don't miss. No commands, just cannabis. I survive, now I persist. Trigger reset, this is it. I don't pull back, I commit. Click, breathe, light, hold. I'm not broken, I'm bold. Every flame a front line, every toke is mine. You train me to fight, now I fight to feel. Trigger locked and it's real. Trigger discipline, yeah, I'm lit. Target peace, I don't miss. No commands, just cannabis. I survive, now I persist. Trigger reset, this is it. I don't pull back, I commit.
All right, that was Trigger Discipline. Love that song. Think it's awesome. If you like any of this Dr. High music, you can find me on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, every major streaming platform. There's now more than 60 songs available. You can create them in a playlist. You can add them to your own playlists. You know, you can have some fun with it. There's videos at Dr. High Music. Dr. High is two separate words, and Doctor is spelled with a K. So if you want to check out any more of this, check it out. I think you'll love a lot of it. Okay, so let's get on to something away for a moment. This is one of the first songs I released. It's called Couch Lock Chronicles. It's all about smoking a heavy indica and not being able to move afterwards. Let's get into it. Couch Lock Chronicles.
What if fish don't know their way? One hit, two hits, now I'm leaning back. feet up, head high, eyes fade to black. TV's on, but I ain't really watching. Stuck in my head, deep thoughts keep knocking. What if trees got dreams? What if stars got names? What if gravity's just playing a game? Phone's in my hand, but I forgot why. This couch got me stuck, man, I can't even lie. Can't move, can't think, I'm in too deep. Brain got questions, got no receipts. Lost in space, lost in time. Past that joint, rewind my mind. Oh, what we talking about? Couch locked, zoned out, minds on the move. Somebody call NASA, I'll be back soon. Deep thoughts, real lost, don't know what to do. I swear I just blinked, but 3 hours flew. Somebody roll me out, man, I can't feel my lips. Deep froze, but I ain't pressed pause. Yo, what if dogs think we the pets in charge? If time's a construct, can I break the rules? Why does food taste better when you break it in two? I just ordered some pizza, I think, but I forgot. Did I get something to drink? Phone buzzing. Wait, who texted me? Oh, never mind, that's just my anxiety. Can't move, can't think, I'm in too deep. Brain got questions, got no receipts. Lost in space, lost in time. Past that joint, rewind my mind. Wait, what if we're all just NPCs? Brain got questions, got no receipts. Lost in space, lost in time. Past that joint, rewind my mind. Wait, what if we're all just NPCs? Somebody call NASA, I'll be back soon. Deep thoughts, real lost, don't know what to do. I swear I just blinked, but 3 hours flew. What if my thoughts ain't even my own? What if my cat's got a mic on my phone? What if reality's just a game? I think I need another flame. Brain got questions, got no receipts. Lost in space, lost in time. Past that joint, rewind my mind. Wait, what if we're all just NPCs? Somebody call NASA, I'll be back soon. Deep thoughts, real lost, don't know what to do. I swear I just blinked, but 3 hours flew. Somebody roll me out, man, I can't feel my lips.
Over the past little while, there's been an increase in the number of women serving in the military. It's a great option, great place to go for training. It's a good job. You know, we definitely appreciate the dedication and the service to our countries, but they are now becoming part of groups of veterans who have seen battle and been in war zones and experienced trauma in just as many ways as men have. So this next song, it's called Garden of Relief, and it's from a female veteran's perspective, how cannabis helps deal with the traumas of war. Garden of Relief.
I used to pace between four walls. Now I walk barefoot through rows. Sun on my skin, dirt in my This is my garden of relief, where I lay down my grief. Inhale peace from the vine, exhale ghosts I leave behind. Everybody quiet belief. This is my garden of relief. Used to wear armor in my dreams, still flinch when I hear a slam. But these plants don't ask me questions, they just open when I am. I've buried too many memories, but I water them with care. And somehow in the silence, they don't haunt me there. This is my garden of relief, where I stitch back every piece. The war still whispers, but it fades when I'm lost in chlorophyll shades. Every breath a quiet belief. This is my garden of relief. I read it in a Dr. Hyde post. Grow something and watch yourself grow. So I planted more than seeds. I planted my will to believe. And each morning when the light hits green, I feel a woman I've never been. This is my garden of relief. It don't judge, it just breathes. The roots run deep like pain, but the blooms don't wear the shame. I'm alive, I'm soft, I'm brief. In my garden of relief. Yeah, this is mine, and I'm growing fine.
So that was Garden of Relief, everybody. Hope you liked it. All right, so let's get into something a little different now. And for this next song, we all know that nature is a great way to reground yourself. Get out into the woods, go for a hike, go for a canoe, find a secluded lake someplace in the mountains, wherever you are. It's a great way to kind of recharge. And it's oh so much more enjoyable if you've brought your bag of weed with you. You know, great to smoke a joint out in the woods, so calm and peaceful and beautiful. And this next song is kind of a take on that. It's called Owl Smoke. Let's get into it.
Laid out my blanket in a ring of stone. Lit the joint slow, I was not alone. The owl blinked once from the pine's old grip, and the smoke's grip.
No phone, no noise, just breath and flame, and the stars above whispering my name.
This is owl smoke, moonlight breath, cannabis communion, beyond regret. Wrapped in my doctor high, candles glow. I see what I was not meant to know. Inhale the truth, exhale the show.
Each puff a page, each blink a gate. I saw my mother's face in the fire shade. Felt the ache of years unwind as the trees hummed low to the rhythm of mine. I'm not lost, I'm seen by air, And the owl still watches, still doesn't care. Owl smoke, sacred blend, a love with no beginning, no end. I wore my Dr. High candle like a veil, burned my name into the trail, and left my shadow there to pale. Weed isn't just for the lungs, it's for the soul that's been running too long. For the wounds no words can dress, for the questions too sacred to confess. I'll smoke my midnight spell, took me through the trees and back from hell, high but grounded, lost but found. My roots lit deep and sacred confound, and the Dr. High candle burned without sound. The night listens if you let it.
Oh, you guys caught me. There I am with my gas gang. I'm indoors. I hate living in an apartment. Can't smoke joints inside. Got to go outside. But what are you going to do? You got to be courteous. That's all there is to it. All right. So that was Owl Smoke. We're going to jump right back into our veteran theme music. This one is pretty good. I really like it. It's called A VA Don't Know.
Been on hold since Monday just to hear a robot lie. They said, you're on a wait list, soldier, but I've been dying since July. They hand out pills like medals, stamp my name and move along. But none of them ever called when my nightmares came on strong. The VA don't know what it's like to shake in your skin, to pray the sun don't rise again, to make a smile just to blend. They don't know what it means to bend and break and still pretend. Tried to tell them about the weed, said help me get to sleep, but they called it non-compliant like I'm trying to score for cheap. They don't see the shattered glass or the brothers we can't save. They just see a file and a checkbox, not the war we still replay. The VA don't know how a blood feels like a prayer, how a puff cuts through despair, how the green smoke fills the air with something close to care. They don't know, they weren't there. They fund the pills, deny the plans, leave us wounded in a trance. But I found truth in what I roll, the only thing that made me whole. I wear my Dr. High tee with pride. It's more therapy than they ever tried. The VA don't know, but I sure as hell do. Cannabis saved more lives than they knew. No more scripts, no more shades. Tried to tell him about the weed, said it helped me get to sleep, but they called it non-compliant, like I'm trying to score for cheap. They don't see the shattered glass or the brothers we can't save. They just see a file and a checkbox, not the war we still replay. The VA don't know how a blood feels like a prayer, how a pulse cuts through despair, how that green smoke fills the air with something close to care. They don't know, they weren't there. They don't know, but I do.
They said I came back whole, but I knew I left in shards. Smiling at the dinner table while I'm bleeding in the dark. They gave me therapy and sermons, said you gotta let it go. But I found my voice in a cloud they'll never know. I found high ground in the haze and flame, where the noise goes quiet and I feel my name. Not just a vet, not just pain. I'm fire, I'm breath, I'm born again. I found high ground and I'm staying. Yeah, I'm staying. I used to crumble at the trigger of a child scream in the night. Now I sit beneath my window with a spliff and softer fight. I don't owe them explanations for how I rise each day. I just roll it like a mission and blaze my own damn way. I found high ground in the haze and flame, where the static dies and I hold my name. Not just a vet, not just pain. I'm smoking so I broke the chain. I found high ground and I'm staying. They said you're strong, but never saw the shakes. Said you're lucky, but I drowned in breaks. Now I light up like defiance in my Dr. High hoodie, smiling. This piece, it's mine and I'm not asking. I found high ground, lit it up and stood where no one said I could. Rebuild from what they misunderstood. I'm not their story, I'm my flame. Higher every day, untamed. I found high ground and I'm staying. Yeah, I'm staying. Yeah, I'm staying. High ground. And I'm staying.
There we are. So that was VA Don't Know, and it was followed by Higher Ground. Obviously, a song about a female coming home, suffering the consequences of her experience, and finding peace in the use of cannabis. So there we go. Let's switch it up and have a little fun now. I'm sure we've all had moments where we smoked a joint and we've had things to do, but after smoking that joint, we have lost our motivation to get it done. Happens to me from time to time, and I'm sure it happens to all of you too. So here's a fun little number. It's called Half Baked.
I was gonna do it, but then I got high. Nah, for real. I ain't even gonna try.
Woke up, had plans, was finna go grind. Roll one up, now I lost my mind. TV on mute, I've been stuck in a trance. Shorty talking, but I don't understand. Got up too quick, almost hit the flow. Took one more hit, now I ain't moving no more. Phone blowing up, but I ain't text back. I was finna type, but I straight up lagged.
Drag moves slow, brain on pause, body feel numb. Ain't no rush, I'm taking my time. One more hit, I might see the sun. But for right now, I ain't going outside.
I was finna move, but I'm half-baked. Shorty hit me up, told her I'm delayed. I was finna grind, but I took a break. Too damn high, now I lost my place. Tried to roll up, but I fell asleep. Woke up hungry, but forgot to eat. Looked at the time, thought it was 4. Shit, that was AM, I ain't even know. Dr. High hoodie, feeling real comfy. DoorDash hit, forgot my munchies. Too damn baked, can't feel my feet. Shorty keep laughing, said I look like a meme.
I think I was supposed to do something, but I forgot.
Eyes too low, thoughts too deep. Got lost in a combo with my own damn seat. Tried to get up, but my legs said nah. Guess I'm chilling here, turn up the
I was finna move, but I'm half-baked. Shorty hit me up, told her I'm delayed. I was finna grind, but I took a break. Too damn high, now I lost my place.
I was finna move, but I'm half-baked. Shorty hit me up, told her I'm delayed. I was finna grind, but I took a break. Too damn high, now I lost my place.
Fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow or next week. I don't even know what day it is.
So that was Half Baked. Fun little number, a position I'm sure we've all been in. Okay, next song. No More Nightmares. Cannabis has been shown to have potentially beneficial results for sleep disorders, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, anxiety, depression, many things that these warriors come home suffering from. And, one of the things that occurs many times with people who have PTSD is they have those dreams in their sleep. They have the nightmares where they relive those moments of trauma. And it's very difficult. And some have found that once they begin to use cannabis, they get a deeper, more rested sleep at night. They're able to, avoid the nightmares altogether, or at least begin to process them. So this is a song called No More Nightmares. Let's go.
Used to lie with my eyes wide, body still but worm fried. Flashbacks like landmines, boom, boom, inside. Every creak I'd grab the drawer, didn't care what meds were for. I was locked in a jungle with a mattress on the floor. No more nightmares, smoke took the fight there. Dreams ain't war zones, peace got right here. Inhale deep, boom, it's clear. First real sleep in 14 years. Doc said, try this, it'll help. Another pill, another shelf. I was zombie ghost, no soul, but the kush made me whole. First blunt hit, I saw the stars. Felt the ground and heal the shield of scars. Now I roll like I used to clean. Except this chamber brings me peace. More nightmares, smoke took the fight there. Dreams ain't war zones, peace got right here. Inhale deep, boom, it's clear. first real sleep in 14 years. I don't flinch at midnight sounds. No more sweats when the world shuts down. I light it up and breathe in slow. Even wear my Dr. High coat in the cold. It's not a high, it's a shield I grow. One pull and I let it go. No more nightmares. This leaf rewired my fight flares. I ain't numb, I'm redefined. Dreams are soft now, not landmine. No more war inside my mind. Smoke, sleep, realigned. I don't flinch at midnight sounds. No more sweats when the world shuts down. I light it up and breathe in slow. Even wear my Dr. High coat in the cold. It's not a high, it's a shield I grow. One pull and I let it go. No more nightmares. This leaf rewired my fight flares. I ain't numb, I'm redefined. Dreams are soft now, not landmined. No more war inside my mind. Smoke, sleep, realigned. 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 This realigned. 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 Realigned.
And there it was. No more nightmares. Yeah, I mean, veterans in cannabis. It's almost a no-brainer. You know, we really need to advocate for that group and do our best to get the information out to them and help them advocate for themselves. You know, it's important. All right, so let's get back to having a little bit of fun. We all know people out there that can blow big clouds. They have lung capacity. So that's what we're going to listen to next, about those who are lifers in the cannabis lifestyle. Lung capacity.
This one's for the lifers, not the lightweight. You know who you are. Roll up, light up, stay up. I don't puff for the gram or the likes. I've been burning heavy since the nickel bag nights. OG lungs with that certified pull. No baby hits here, we smoke to get full. Dab so thick, make a grown man cough. If you tapping out early, then you already lost. This the dojo, roll up with the sensei. We don't babysit blunts, not now, not any day. Real smokers, only no cap, no fakes. Backwoods, bong rips, cookies, and cakes. Roll it, spark it, take it to the dome. If you ain't coughing hard, then take your ass home. Yeah, this that street sesh vibe, we don't play polite. Got a nug the size of your head, take flight. Weed loud like a Harley on the avenue. Hit it once, now you seeing different attitudes. Got that Dr. High hoodie smelling like skunk. My socks got Keith crumbs, pockets got funk. Ash on my shirt, ashtray full of war. This that smokers club, underground lord. Lil smokers, only no cap, no fakes. Backwoods, bong rips, cookies, and cakes.
Roll it, spark it, take it to the dawn. If you ain't coughing hard, then take your ass home. One hit, two hit, floating in space. Eyes half-mast, but I love that taste. Talking terps, talking resin, talking boom rocks. And I only spark up when I hear that beat knock. Real smokers, only no cap, no fakes. If your lungs ain't ready, better pump those brakes. Roll it, spark it, take it to the dawn. If you ain't coughing hard, then take your ass home. This ain't a trend, it's a lifestyle. Keep it loud, keep it lit, duck the high, out. And I only spark up when I hear that beat now. One hit, two hit, floating in space. Eyes half masked, but I love that taste. Talking terps, talking resin, talking moon rocks. And I only spark up when I hear that beat knock. Real smokers, only no cap, no fakes. If your lungs ain't ready, better pump those brakes. Roll it, spark it, take it to the dawn. If you ain't coughing hard, then take your ass home. This ain't a trend, it's a lifestyle. Keep it loud, keep it lit, duck the high, out.
Well, that was lung capacity. So all you guys that can blow those big clouds, that was for you. Okay, so next song is one that is surely very relatable to many of us. How many times in your life have you been ready to spark up and get your day off to a good start and you can't find your lighter? You can't find it anywhere because those little suckers disappear all the time. I think they find the same place that stray socks go in television remotes. So I don't know. But anyway, this song is called Lost Lighter Blues, and I think it's relatable. Enjoy.
Woke up this morning looking for fire. Had the herb, had the time, had the deep desire. Check my jeans, check the floor, even check behind the bathroom door. Got the lost lighter blues every damn time. I swear it was here, now it's crossing state lines. Could have sparked up twice by now, I suppose, but I'm just pacing in circles and sniffing my clothes. I asked my girl, she said, check your hat. I said, baby, come on, it ain't hiding under that. Pulled the couch apart, checked the sink, found 3 old roaches and a soda, I think. Got the lost lighter blues, it's a sacred curse. I trade my grinder or maybe my purse. A match would do, a spark, a flame. I'd rub 2 sticks together in nature's name. Got the lost lighter blues, it's a sacred curse. I trade my grinder or maybe my purse. A match would do, a spark, a flame. I'd rub 2 sticks together in nature's name. Got the lost lighter blues, it's a sacred curse. I trade my grinder or maybe my purse. A match would do, a spark, a flame. I'd rub 2 sticks together in nature's name. It's in the void that black holes on, where socks and sanity go to roam. joke. Swear my lighter's ghosting me mid-toke. Then I sat back down with a loud old sigh. Felt a bump in my pocket, Lord, I damn near cried. There it was, right where it belongs, next to my keys and a crushed ping pong. No more lost light of blues, not today, my friend. But I know damn well I'll lose it again. So here's to the flick, the flame, the fight, to that one sacred tool that disappears each night. Next time I'm buying 10 and tapping them to my chest.
So, was I right? Was it relatable? Is it an experience that you've had too? I guarantee it is, because I know I have, and I know lots of people have. So that's a fun little song, though. Nice. All right, so we're down to our last song of the show. Tonight's been about healing with the plant, about finding a better quality of life through including it in your lifestyle. And we'll finish on a mellow note. The song's called Higher Ground. It's a really nice song. And let's go. Last one for tonight.
Started at the bottom, couldn't see past pain. Lit up just to breathe, smoke through the rain. Tears on the tray, prayers in the flame. Whispered my name till it didn't sound the same. But the green grew roots beneath my feet. Turned my lows into something sweet. Now I'm climbing higher ground. Took the hit, heard the sound. Where my fears used to live, there's light now. Rolling slow, wearing faith like a crown. Wrapped in my Dr. High candles glow, I'm spellbound.
Used to chase love like it held the key. Now I dance with smoke and set myself free. Each puff a vow, each exhale a song. Took me years to learn I've been strong all along. They call me lazy, lost and wrong, but we'd help me hold on just long enough to belong.
Now I'm standing on higher ground, with a steady hand and a sacred sound. My soul's been rolling and found, burning truth in the leaves that pound. And my Dr. High candle lights every round around.
This isn't a phase or a trend to fake. This is the medicine no one could take. I found myself in the glow and ash, in the stillness after the panic crash.
Now I live on higher ground.
No map,
Just heart, no chains, no bounds. From cracked floors to sacred sound.
lit up the dark now.
Look who's crowned. And my Dr. High candle burns year round.
Well, guys, higher ground. Once again, it's been an awesome evening. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed the music. I do it for the community. I do it for the enjoyment. I get a kick out of making it. I hope you guys get a kick out of listening to it. You can find me at drhigh.com, Dr. High AI Hayes on Etsy, or Dr. High, two separate words, on all major streaming platforms. If you like the music and you want to download some of it or watch it on YouTube, I have more than 20 of these songs set to videos, just like you watched tonight. Kind of perfect to throw in the background if you're having people over. The music will play. If people are bored, they want to look up, they can see something happening on the screen, so might be enjoyable. Anyway, once again, thank you. And we will see you next Thursday night, 9 o'clock, for episode 6. Have a great night, Canada fam. High vibes only. Peace.
Yeah, you feel that? Welcome to the session. Let's vibe. Roll one up, let's take flight. Bass hits deep, ride the night. Smoking sound, it's paradise. High vibes only, feeling right. High vibes, let it flow. Deep bass, watch it glow. Dub hits, rock and roll. We light it up and take it slow.
Dr. High is a Pace Radio Network content provider. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponic shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. We are people advocating cannabis education here at Pace Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this toke.
Nations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Now picture this 5-10 years ago.
Oh, it was solid people, man. It was
Yeah.
huge.
But
Huge.
okay, like I mean, I grew up in Toronto, and we used to go downtown on any given day, and you'd be shoulder to shoulder people like this.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't even happen anymore downtown,
Sidewalk
unless
to
there's an event.
sidewalk.
Yep.
Yeah. Sidewalk to sidewalk. But it's not one of those this year, and then we have to start fresh and build again.
Yep.
And it's doing things like this to allowing people to know that, hey, this is still going on, and why we should be getting involved in it.
And we like to air these things so that people like myself who can't do this anymore,
Yeah.
get a. I mean, even if you're not there, you're still supporting us, and you're supporting this event, and that helps because it creates a conversation, and maybe next year there'll be double what's here.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I don't forget, throughout the parade, I'll grab some people. I'll ask them why they are marching.
Yes, I think you should.
All right, there you go. So, what do you think?
I think it's excellent. I love, again, I was talking with Timmy earlier. And it's always like somebody starts something and everybody responds. And that's the beautiful thing about it is we're all here. And it's these events to give us a chance to kind of find each other. So this is my first march. I've been involved in plenty of events, but my first march. So
really,
so it's really exciting to be part of the movement and has, excuse me, in that sense. And again, any opportunity that we get to kind of unite commercial, legacy, home grower, and just cannabis advocate together as one voice collectively, we're going to get more done. So,
Exactly. More people will speak up. Our voices are louder.
Yeah, that's it. I think it was Dalai Lama said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, sleep in a tent with a mosquito. So, kind of
not lots of times.
So if you don't believe, anybody who's done that can definitely agree how a small thing can make a big difference.
You should let everybody know who you're talking to.
So, pardon me?
Should let everybody know who's talking.
Oh, I'm D the Bug Guy. I'm just I'm a Canadian grower. I'm medically licensed. I'm also CanSal certified. So I love exploring the different aspects of the industry, as well as being part of the moving change. We have a good system in the sense that it's better than not having one. Yeah. But there's still work to be done.
That's right. Sure is. Yeah. So basically, you march for
access, and I march for everybody. I march for those that can't be here today. I march for those that have been incarcerated for this plant, that still feel silenced, that don't have the access. But like I said, otherwise, just we're here to support the plant, and the people that are here are trying to make a difference. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces. So, yeah. So, like I said, me being one of them with the march, but there's events surrounding it. We come together. It's a round table. Next time is better. Yeah. So it's all about execution. And like I said before, you build it and they come.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for the words.
Anytime, man. I'll see you throughout the day, bro.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We will. I'm gonna see if I can grab Scott here.
Who?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Dad, how are you doing these days?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. The answer is 8. It's always 8.
It's always 8. Not for this question, though. Why do you march?
I march because we still have a message to send around the world. We've legalized it. We've made it work for the best. I think it's not perfect, but we've made it. And we were talking earlier, a few of us, about the old expo days and treating yourself and how far we've come. And yet the world still is trying to catch up, I think.
And back in those days, we were out advocating for cannabis law reform, and we're still asking for cannabis law reform because there's always, like you said, it's not perfect. There's always changes that could be made.
Lots of changes that can be made. From the fact that they're talking about decriminalizing hard drugs right now, I think that's a good conversation to be having, and I think it's the right time. Also, I want to say something. I have a very nasty injury I recently suffered, and I have really come to realize this. We should maybe
we should move along, eh?
That some of the damn packaging Did you get it? Some of the damn packaging in these containers and stuff that we're buying.
Oh, brutal.
I have suffered greatly trying to get into these.
Oh, big time. Oh, I know.
Putting my foot down. I'm tired of it, and I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, like I anything that I've had to open, majority of the time I've had to use scissors in order to get into them.
It's very difficult to do right now. So, and I'm not complaining, not at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is a simple injury in a lot of people's lives to what they've suffered. And if I'm having that much difficulty trying to get into my medicine, I can't imagine what it must be for a lot of people.
Oh yes, because especially so many people go to the stores for medicinal purposes, and I think that's I'm going to say too, because a lot of there's been a lot of increase in the older category of people going in, right? So they're having to deal with these packages.
And yes, from seniors to disabled people, even the people that are new to it, they're befuddled by some of these packagings. And I just look at them and just have to roll my eyes and go, yeah.
Yeah. Organization. Yeah, correct. Well, we caught up to the parade again there, Al. All right, Scott. Thanks. We'll be talking, man.
I will look forward to
That's right. Bye. How are you? Can I ask you a question, just so you know? I'm Al. Here's my producer, and we're live on 420radio.ca and paceradio.net. So basically, my basic question is pretty simple. Why do you march?
I've been doing it for years, and we still need to recognize it globally. So I march.
There you go. Exactly.
I want to travel and be able to smoke weed in other countries.
Yeah, exactly. Good answer. Thank you. Right. So we need lounges. We need lounges where they can host events.
Yes, we do. We're missing so many of them now. It's really sad.
So why do you march, Ashley?
Oh, because this needs to be legal everywhere, and we need to change the face of legality too. We definitely need lounges.
Exactly.
We used to have a lot of them in Toronto. Not
Yeah.
Now there's
exactly.
like 4.
We'll get there. You know, as I said to people earlier, when cannabis was illegal, we were marching for cannabis law reform, and we're still doing that today.
To this day, 100%. We still need to up all of our legal limits to allow for medical patients to actually get some form of relief.
Why should someone get arrested with 32 grams or a ticket for 32 grams when you can go places and buy substances with greater quantity?
Right?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Thanks, Ashley.
No problem. Thank you.
Website.
SofaKingGoodBakery.com.
Okay. Thank you. Do you remember the days when the chant was so loud it would echo off the buildings?
Oh my God, you couldn't see the street.
Oh, yeah, side to side, sidewalk to sidewalk. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a simple question for you. I'm asking everybody as we go along here. Why do you march?
I march because just because cannabis is legal here, it doesn't mean it is in other parts of the world. People are jailed for this everywhere.
Yeah.
And even with legalization, there's still charged. There's still a legal system that's attached to this. Like
legalize
people have 28 grams of cannabis. It's a little crazy. And there's people suffering around the world, jailed, facing death sentences for cannabis.
A year ago, there was a couple of guys in Singapore that got hung.
That exactly.
I think
so
there's somebody else waiting to be
Our
hung as
crowd's
well.
a bit smaller than it has been in other years, but the message is still the same, and it will still be the same until cannabis is legalized and it's legal and accepted.
Exactly.
Stigma needs to be removed as well, right? So
Exactly.
we're working on that. I mean, we're 5 years here legalization, and it's still stigma still attached to it.
Exactly.
So it's not going to be a quick fix, but we keep this up and we keep normalizing it.
It's like 90 years of prohibition. That ain't going away.
Exactly. We think it's just because now we have stores everywhere. It's just going to be, hoity-toity and fun and it's not. People still have are still brainwashed. The reefer madness, that generation is still around. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and their kids. So we just need to change the way cannabis is viewed. And again, not just here globally. This is a global march. This isn't just in Toronto. This is Toronto section of this global march.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just need to, keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah,
There's a big one
exactly.
going on in New York right now too.
Al says there's one going on in New York right now.
I love it. I love it. Well, it is global, right, guys?
That's right, global. All right. Oh, we got a poll there. All right, thanks, Amy.
Take a poll. Take a poll. Put some rap music on.
I'll stop and ask Church a question. I'm asking everybody the same question.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Why do you march?
I march to spread awareness and to show my experience along with having a good time and hanging out with some friends.
That's right. Yeah. Awareness is good. Okay. Thank you.
The Hamilton Police Headquarters.
I've got 11 here, and I've got a question for 11.
Okay, you go ahead
and I asked this question of everybody I've been talking to during the march.
Okay.
Why do you march?
7.5 inches. Oh, sorry, what?
Why do you march?
I thought it was something else. I thought you were gonna ask me something else. I mean, one, it's just great to see everyone. Let's be honest. Should we keep walking? Let's not lose the herd. So it's definitely a community thing. It's definitely a beautiful energy, but we got to show up, just like with the podcast, as the different manifestations as we are as like consistent cannabis users and community members, to show how diverse. Like, you got to show up for it to kind of like share the colors inside of the community and kind of just like represent. So I think it's rewarding definitely to be part of it, but yeah, like to show up and to march, I think you gotta give that respect to the plant by like presenting yourself as part of something that is involved with cannabis. So I feel like it was just representing, but also it's totally selfish. It's 100% selfish because I just get to hang out with a bunch of stoners.
Yeah, you do a purpose, fight for cannabis law reform and hang out with friends.
Yeah, I feel like like we even just shifted the energy to like fun. I mean, it feels protesty because we have a chant, but it's like, me, I prefer to kind of focus on the, on what's working, on what the positive is. So if we can all just constantly live a good example, like by checking ourselves first, and then what people notice of the community is positive. Like, look, everyone's just goofing around, laughing, being creative, colorful bunch. Like, it's about the opportunity to, offer that impact as like what collectively as a group of stoners supposed to like be. Not that it's period after this group. It's just like here's a bit. Here's like a Toronto vibe. Yeah.
And in this march are some people who've been here since the beginning. And it's good to see that, this year's a bigger march than last year. And, last year was sort of, it wasn't really much promo or anything. And this year is some promo done and we got more people out.
Just keep moving with it, man. That's it. Let the momentum build.
Do it all again next year. Just try to build again, rebuild.
It's always a fun time, and it gives you the opportunity to probably try some new shit or smoke a joint with someone you ain't never smoked a joint with before.
Somebody maybe you only knew through Facebook.
Well, that's what I said. I was joking about that when I was getting the chance together. I'm like, it's like this is a fucking bunch. Like, I see a bunch of faces that I only see online.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's true. So, all right, 11. Well, let's shout out to where people can find you, man.
Discipline Stoners. Me and my wife, Winnie Clark, have a podcast called Discipline Stoners, and I mean, a bunch of people who are here have been on it and will be on it. And we just are lucky enough to be documenting this time period in history and going at it through the lens of mindfulness. So that's like what we talk about. And yeah, we do canna covers, all sorts of stuff like that. So you can check us out. Discipline.
Have a show about the march. And after, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a song. Yeah.
Damn, didn't someone catch the ball? I think Spliff McKenzie. We just made history. I was just freestyling, and then a homie comes up and starts freestyling next. It was awesome, and like there's always those moments that happen authentically, and when you exist in the cut,
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty.
Documenting it.
Oh yes, yes. Been doing it for years. We used to just do it in audio. Now you got the cameras going. So that's right. Cannabis. There we go. All right. Thanks, Levin.
Yeah, buddy. Good chat.
Thank you. Good to see you. I got a question for you, Val. All right. All right. Why do you march?
Because we can.
Yeah, we can. That's right. It's allowed in our country.
We sure can.
There's a lot of countries where you can't.
Absolutely, you bet. And we're so lucky to be here in Canada.
Hmm. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. 11 getting the chance going there.
Job.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Eh?
Yeah, totally.
All right. Oh, okay. On to my next interview, I guess.
On
Yes.
to your next victim.
Pop up question. That's what I'm going around asking everybody. Why do you march?
That's a great question.
Talked to, I don't know, half a dozen, 7 people so
Why
far.
do you march?
Why do I march? I march for cannabis law reform. That's the same reason I marched for when I started this, going to these approximately 20 years ago. And I still do it for today because even though cannabis is legal, we still need cannabis law reform. People can still get fined or even arrested for quantities of cannabis that are, they're only 30 grams. Some people need more than that. Or you go camping for 2 weeks. You're gonna take, for some people, 30 grams isn't gonna be enough. So people risk that. There's the taxes. There's people getting just arrested. There's other stuff as well. If you could deal with those excise taxes, that would help lower the cannabis. Maybe make it so that you don't have to climb a mountain and swim through the ocean in order to get to the regulatory part of it all.
Yeah, agreed.
So, all right, Val. Good talking to you.
Hooray.
Hey, Thomas, how you doing? Good. I got a quick. Yeah, that's right. I got a quick question for you. All right.
Legalization globally, and for me, it's logical legislation here in Canada. We're just doing it badly for the wrong reasons. So for me, I want to stand against that.
Still fighting for cannabis law reform.
Exactly. What a way to say it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, well, why do I march? And I thought, well, why did I march in the beginning? And it had to do with to change the cannabis laws because cannabis is illegal, right?
This is the second march for me in the 25. I think I went 20 years ago when I moved way too much weed to be out here openly. I never went again.
Now back then I was marching for cannabis law reform, and today I still march for cannabis law reform because there's things that could be changed. The regulatory end of things, as well as I look at it as, taxes would obviously make it better. If they can adjust that, patients can have tax-free medicine. Why not a location where a patient can actually go into and get their medicine and talk to somebody who's
Well, I would just take the boot off the neck of the industry. It's stifling innovation. Nobody can move. It's a stranglehold in favor of monopolizing for corporate interests that do not care about the average Canadian, doesn't care about the medical patient, doesn't care about the recreational user. Let's smarten up.
Yeah, exactly. And some countries use us as an example of way to do things, and we're still fighting in order to make change.
Yeah, well, one punch at a time, right?
That's right. Exactly. All right, Thomas. Thank you.
Right, keep marching.
We will. I think the newbie is burning up the tires on the little Nugs cart here.
I don't even know if the baby's still in there.
Oh, really?
It's been a long time since I've
Well, you
looked.
got it tied in there pretty good, though, with the string and all.
It's pretty secure, but ever since he's become mobile, he climbs out every once in a while. So, yeah, how big is Toronto? I'm sure we'll find him later.
So I have a question for you. As you said, you're the newbie. Why do you march?
To have the conversation or to encourage having the conversation. I think my biggest thing is I do not like the fact that any conversation is cut down because people are uncomfortable or they only want one side to be told. And I think that the conversation regarding cannabis isn't fully being told or fully allowed to be told. And I think that's both the positives and the negatives. I'm not even advocate that it's, the miracle. I don't think anything is the one and all thing, but people have to at least be willing to do the studies on it, have the conversations. What is it actually doing? Where does it help? Who can it help? And allow people to find that personalization that I've really come to understand. Like I used to think that weed equals weed, and now I've become fully aware that it's so personal in terms of how you take it, how much you take it, what you take it for. And if the conversation isn't allowed to be had, then people will constantly be quite possibly utilizing it in the wrong way because they have nobody to really go to find out how they can improve, I guess, their experience with the plant. That make sense?
Yeah, it sure does. And being you're a newbie, it's good to hear.
Yeah, you know what? And I think if the conversation is allowed to be had, then the stigma breaks. All those other things that people are wanting to have happen. I think it just starts with people being allowed to even discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. Because before, without legalization, that was that would be an issue with a lot of people. They didn't want to discuss it because it was illegal, and they figured discussing it would be taken negatively by somebody in their family or a friend or.
I don't know. You tell me, Al. You've been in this community for way longer than I've even been in it, for sure. But I think the conversation doesn't want to even be fully had within the community, lest some of the I think everything has positives and negatives, and I think sometimes even the community itself doesn't want the full conversation to be had. It just in case, even MJ and I talk sometimes, and she's worried sometimes that she might find out that maybe she isn't a fully medical user, and that bothers her. Maybe she is more of a recreational user, and not that there should be a stigma attached to that either. But she's preached so long in her own mind that this is why I consume, that she's almost afraid to find out that maybe there are other reasons she consumes, and then that changes the narrative that's been built up in her head.
Okay, yeah.
That's scary for some people.
Well, personally myself, I've been consuming cannabis since I was 13. And when I became a patient when I was 41, it was something that I knew I could use as the benefit wise, and would help me. There was a benefit for me to consume it because it was going to help me with my condition. And because of cannabis, I never got prescribed any opiate drugs other than when I was hospitalized.
Do you?
So because I couldn't shut up.
So let me ask you this, just because we're talking conversation, or having the conversation.
Yeah, and we're stuck here.
One of the things that, in regards to opening the conversation, and I'd love to have your opinion on this, is MJ and I talk a lot about the consuming it through the burning consumption, through smoking it, and the health benefits that can come from cannabis, but also, there's also the negative side of, that form of consumption can certainly do damage to lungs. And I think that's the conversation that even people in the community are afraid to have, because everybody just wants to talk about it as if it's this perfect thing. How do you feel about that concept of that form of consumption?
Oh, I've been a toker all the way along, but I push and discuss the non-smoking methods because I don't expect somebody who, let's say, is 75 years of age and is going to start using cannabis medicinally, and who has never smoked anything in their life. I don't think that they should be forced to smoke cannabis, and that was part of the argument before the courts back in 2013, because at that time smoked cannabis was the only way that we were legally allowed to consume it as patients. And so it went battled through the courts, and we had like a 5-year-old lad whose mother was making him cannabis oil. But that at that time was illegal, and she was risking arrest.
Do you I think okay, so I as you're just talking there, I'm just thinking this out loud.
Sirens blaring.
Right? We've got
Yeah.
MJ always makes comments about the fact of 5 years ago this whole place would have scattered as soon as they heard the sirens go.
Now,
No.
now they ride by on their bikes and they say hi.
I think one of the things also about why I advocate for having the conversation is because of things like you just described, where somebody now comes into the world of going, okay, there is a more natural way for me to maybe fight against some drug that maybe the pharmaceuticals have been working with them with, and now they're like, oh, well, maybe cannabis can actually do it for me. But there's very few people though that they can actually go to have the conversation to say, hey, guess what? You don't have to smoke it, because the stigma and the perception is like I thought that was the only way it was ever consumed. Like the fact that there's so many methods now has blown my mind over the years. But again, it goes back to having that conversation. People still don't know, so now they're thinking, oh man, I could probably use cannabis, but I don't want to smoke it, and they don't even realize that there's an option.
They said they don't.
That only happens when people are willing to sit down and go, we talked about bud tenders being kind of handcuffed, that they're not able to they often are the doorkeeper, and someone comes in and they're interested in trying something, but the bud tenders aren't equipped and empowered and trained enough to really share any information with them. And so where do people go who are like going, like I think this can help me, but nobody can talk to me about it, and nobody's willing to talk.
Oh, believe me, in those early days, that was big time, big issue, and there's more now than there was 5 years ago. But 10 years ago, it was nasty.
Well, I can tell you this, and I'll end with this because there's lots of other people.
Right, we gotta go.
Yeah. But this conversation that I'm just having with you, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would be at a global marijuana march on a video feed having a conversation about cannabis, I would have been like I would have thought you are nuts and you're high. You got to be high, clearly. So just that's why I'm here, is the fact of, even as a non-consumer, I still believe that these conversations need to be had, and that's what I'm advocating for.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Jamie. Where can people find you?
Oh, well, you can find us at the Newbie and the Doobie, and we do have a show here. What is it? Wednesday nights, I think.
10 o'clock.
Wednesday nights is 10 o'clock, the Newbie and Doobie podcast. And we're actually working on a bunch of new stuff right now that we'll be looking to release in the next little while. Then, of course, Mary Jane Baker's got her own stuff through Instagram, and I'm at The Real Timmy Boyle. But Newbie and the Doobie, check us out. And we want to break the stigma, have the conversation, bring the fun, and raise the bar.
There you go. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. All right. Well, signing off here. We're live here at the Global Marijuana March at Queen's Park, Toronto, the North. And come on, check us out. We'll be here, well, obviously, till after the 420. If you're close, stop in for a visit. Check out our vendors. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
You're watching the 420 Pace, found at 420pace.ca. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this toke. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. You're watching the 420 Pace, found at 420pace.ca. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this toke.